This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Dolphins today introduced new GM John Eric Sullivan. When talking about the team's quarterback situation, Sullivan said he's got a plan in place for the QBs moving forward, but there's too much work to do before a decision is made for this upcoming season. Miami is expected to move on from Tua Tagovailoa. Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold's throwing's been limited this week at practice because of an oblique injury ahead of Sunday's NFC Championship game versus the Rams. With that oblique and Zach Charbonnet out the rest of the playoffs with a torn ACL, expect a heavy dose of Seattle running back Kenneth Walker III, explains ESPN's Jason McCourty.
And the one thing about him as a running back, when he touches the football, you have no idea where he's going to be. Defensive coaches always say that everyone is at the point of attack. The run could be going to the left, and you could be the cornerback on the opposite side of the field. He's going to cut back, and he is going to find you. An explosive guy whenever the ball is in his hand, whether they're handing it off or throwing it to him out the backfield.
Cowboys agreed to a deal to make Eagles passing game coordinator and secondary coach Christian Parker their new defensive coordinator.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Friday, Matthew Stafford is probably the MVP of the league, but I'll tell you why he'll be playing for his legacy on Sunday night. It's on Sportsman, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
So. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We're talking with Kat Terrell in about 15 minutes from right now. Chris Doering in hour 2. David Helman coming up in hour 3. Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
I am very happy to report that I'm alive. I am not dead. I am alive. This unless this is like Sixth Sense. Yeah, maybe.
I guess it could be, except that's a movie and this is real life.
Maybe Muse, I'm a ghost and you see me because you see ghosts. You see dead people.
I could.
Maybe.
I mean, no one's here to confirm or deny or dispute that.
That's a fact.
Glad you're alive, though, Scone.
Yeah, me too. Thanks. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
There was a Facebook hoax that's been spreading today that I died. And I didn't die. I'm actually alive. I was in the car this morning, and my sister-in-law called me because my wife's aunt called my mother-in-law, who called my sister-in-law, who then called me. I was live streaming on Morning Scone. So, look, he's here. He's live streaming on Morning Scone. And the graphic they put up said, RIP 1987 to 2026. I'm like, I was born in 1982. Mm-hmm. If you're going to rip me, can you at least get my birth year correct?
Can we do a little research?
A little bit. It's on my Twitter profile.
You can
I think
find
it's on my
that.
Twitter profile. July 1982.
If not, it's probably on your Facebook. Where they posted this.
I don't know. I think I might have my Facebook. Do I have? Yeah, look on my Twitter profile. So look, there it is.
Right there.
Paul, can you pull this up? Look, there's my Twitter profile right there. Born. You don't have it. Dag nabbit. Okay. Well, anyway. July 1982. But I'm alive. Really here. It's great to be here. It's great to be here. Anyway, all right, we got a lot to do today, so thanks for hanging out with us. Did we do the Bud Light Open yet?
We did.
We did.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So drink Bud Light with the drop there. So the thing everyone wants to know: what is the latest on Seaton Watch. Seaton Watch. Did you pull me saying Seaton?
Well, yeah, of course I did. Why wouldn't I? What am I going to do, say it into a microphone myself?
I thought you would do it.
No, this is way better.
Seaton Watch. Seaton Watch. This is so stupid. We did like a month solid of Kiffin Watch. I feel like we might be embarking on the same with Seaton Watch. Seaton Watch. The pause is wicked. It's so poorly spliced together.
That's what makes it so good.
It is what makes it so good. Okay. So everybody wants to know what's the latest on Seaton Watch. Seaton Watch. I think this kid's in no hurry to make a decision, and nobody seems to know what he's going to do. That's not the update everybody wants, but that's the update that I have for you. And I've been chasing my tail a little bit here, chasing every lead to try to find out if this kid, there were some reports that he came back to Baton Rouge. As of early this afternoon, that was not the case. Literally had someone with intimate knowledge of the ongoing conversations with Jordan Seaton who told me, yeah, but nobody... Like, actually, I'll read the direct quote from you, for you. So as of this afternoon, he wasn't back in Baton Rouge, but anything is possible with that kid. that's where we are with Seaton Watch. Here's what I'll tell you. Because a lot of people are also asking about enrollment for the spring semester to be able to go through spring football. A couple things. Number one, Oregon is on a quarter system, so they have fall, winter, spring, summer. So their winter classes, like that deadline's passed. Their spring classes don't begin until March 30th. So for Oregon, Seaton's he's missed the winter window here. So he's in no rush there from an Oregon perspective, and it's March 30th. He could enroll and go through spring. As for LSU, with the window having passed to enroll for spring semester, meaning even if he picks LSU, he wouldn't be able to go through spring football. And I'll tell you candidly, you don't need Jordan Seaton in spring ball. Look, Whit Weeks and Harold Perkins didn't participate in spring last year. Jordan Gilbert, like some of these guys, like Gilbert, remember, had shoulder surgery and missed spring while he recovered. Like a lot of times you intentionally choose to do those types of procedures then because it's not important for veteran players to go through spring. For some players, it is important. I think for like the quarterbacks and receivers, the timing is very important. Earlier this week, we had Jackson Harris with us, the Hawaii transfer, who told us they're already out there throwing with Husan Longstreet and Landon Clark and working on their timing, which is awesome. I think that's important. I think if you're going to be a first-time starter, it's important to get those reps. That's why, remember when Nussmeier played in that bowl game against Wisconsin, it was very important for Nussmeier, those bowl practices in spring, because it was all reps with the ones, being the man, leading the huddle. That was important. So for some guys, it is. If you're Jordan Seaton and you're going to be a plug-and-play guy and you're going to be the starter at left tackle and you've started for 2 seasons and you're the best in the country at your position, like, I'm super disinterested in him and his beautiful, healthy ACLs being out there in spring football. And remember, last year, you didn't have A.J. Halsey or Bernard Gooden in spring. They weren't added until that spring portal window, so they didn't show up till June. I guess all that to say, like, LSU has not given up recruiting Jordan Seaton. They're still they're very much in the mix. I think the way that it was phrased to me yesterday was that after Seaton had flown to Atlanta, and then, of course, Lane Kiffin went and saw him Tuesday night, and so did Dan Lanning. Early Wednesday morning, the way that it was phrased to me is that their chances were dwindling. Not gone, but it was just you didn't feel as good Wednesday as you did Tuesday when Seaton spent spent 48 hours on campus. So I know that's not the update everyone wants to hear, but as I've repeated, the hang up very much seems to be Jordan Seaton's uncle, and I don't think it's one of those things where he's just got, as many are assuming, he's got his hands out and wants more money. I don't think the finances here are the hang-up. It sounds like everybody is going to be financially competitive to land Seaton. That's not what's at issue here. It's I think a little bit of control, and maybe the onus is on this staff who had really sold the player. And I think Jordan Seaton, while he was here, was ready to commit and sign, and his uncle wanted him to take that visit to Oregon, and you maybe just had a little power struggle here from decision makers. I think the challenge now is for LSU staff to recruit Jordan Seaton's uncle and get him on board with this decision and see what timeline it may follow. So again, I don't know that anything is imminent or that it needs to be imminent. But if Jordan Seaton wants to be a part of the LSU team in 2026, he will be, and they're continuing to recruit him. Okay, it is after further review. Meanwhile, the LSU coaches were recruiting all over today. We'll get you some updates on that here throughout the show. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints. Y'all, Carnival's here. Man, great time, of course, to celebrate a great season here around Louisiana. If you're going to be heading out to the parades, make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light. Fill the ice chest. If you go follow the Mockler Beverage social media pages, they've got all the parade schedules as well if you're interested in that. So you can check it out. Mockler Beverage on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. You can see it all right there. But whatever you do, make sure if you're out parading or just hanging out at the house, riding out the freeze and the ice storm, drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. All right, y'all, it is after further review, and we're glad to have you hanging out with us here from the Raising Cane studio. It is a Thursday edition of AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. We're going to knock out a quick break, and when we come back, our friend Kat Terrell is going to jump aboard with us. I wanted to have this convo with Kat last week. We just couldn't coordinate on a time, and it actually works really well because today over at ESPN, Bill Barnwell has a really comprehensive piece about every wide receiver that could be available, either free agency, trade, cut candidates. Like, where might the Saints be looking to fortify a desperate need on this team? We're going to talk about it with Kat when we come back. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Buying or selling, commercial or residential. Think real estate. Think Darren James. I'm going to give you the website. I'm going to give you Darren's cell as well. So go to agent225.com, agent225.com. That's the website. Or if you want to call Darren, 335-7666 or text 335-7666, 225-335-7666. Thinking about selling your home, you could literally text Darren right now and say, Darren, here's going to talk about you all the time. Thinking about listing my home. Would love to meet with you. Remember, when you meet with Darren, you're going to sit down. He's going to agree to a price and a deadline, a price to sell your home at a deadline by which he'll sell it. If he doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he'll have your home bought with cash or he'll sell it for you absolutely free. Learn more about the Guaranteed Sale Program. Call or text Darren right now, 225-335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trust it.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
The NFL is down to its final 4. The other 28 teams are looking ahead to 2026. And for the New Orleans Saints, absolutely receiver has to be on their must list. And I wanted to have this conversation with Kat Terrell for a while now. She's good enough to join us now. Kat Terrell from ESPN. She's on Twitter, X, whatever, at Kat_Terrell. Hey, Kat, how are you?
I'm doing good, Matt. Been a little sick all week, so might not sound great, but I've been on the mend.
You sound awesome as always, and it's all about the knowledge that we need, which is why we called on you. Hey, I want to would you agree that receiver is at or near the top of the Saints' must list this offseason?
Yeah, for me, going into this first round of the draft, depending on how the draft falls, it would either be a top need or right near the top. If Love is available in the draft, that could change things. But I definitely think they have to address pass catcher in some form or fashion.
Okay, the first thing, let's first things first, which is they got to decide what they're going to do with Chris Olave. I think most people agree that they're going to re-sign him. I want to throw up in my mouth when I think about paying him $30 million a year, but I think they're going to do that. Your best guess as to what they do with Olave, like do they re-sign him? When do they re-sign him? What does the contract look like? Any best guess there?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. When you asked me to come on the show earlier today, I was thinking about that and looking up, how much you have to pay a top receiver. And as you said, it is $30 million. And, I myself have reservations about that. I think Olave had a great year this year. I think he's a solid receiver. Do you want to pay him that much money? I mean, it really doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the Saints think, and they've been working on an extension with him since he said the beginning of the season, so they clearly want it. They don't have any other top receivers, so do they get desperate and pay him whatever he wants? I don't know. I think that they should try to keep him. I don't think it should be at the top of the market, but that's not really how the market works these days, right? It seems like record deals happen left and right, whether it's a good idea or not.
So, do you agree, though, like you think that they will re-sign him but before the start of next season?
I think so.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah. I don't really know what would stop them from doing that. They, like I said, they indicated they want him back. His teammates are now saying you got to pay the man, so everyone kind of seems on board to keep Olave. I think he really has a good chemistry with Tyler Shough. He proved he came back from the concussions. So I'd be surprised if we're going into the start of next season and nothing has happened yet. Now, it could take all the way up until then.
Yeah.
But my guess is that they do come to some sort of contract extension. He doesn't play on the fifth-year option.
Would an A.J. Brown trade make sense?
I don't think so, because just looking at Brown's contract and how much he makes, I don't see a world where you both pay Chris Olave the money he is probably expecting and also absorb Brown's contract. And also, you have to get into the whole issue of what's going to make A.J. Brown happy. Would he be happy coming into this particular offense, which is still very much a work in progress? Do you want to deal with that? Or do you want to just build Kellen Moore's offense from the ground up and draft a receiver? In my mind, the latter option is the way to go. I know, you don't always know how that's going to turn out. Brown is a very, very good receiver, but it comes with a whole host of other issues you're allowing into your building if that's the way you want to go.
Kat Terrell's with us. Of course, free agency comes before the draft. So could you see a world where the Saints both sign a free agent wide receiver and draft one at the top at 8 overall?
That's a great question. I think it would depend on how much money they're throwing at a free agent wide receiver. Like, are you paying a Jordan Seaton, or are you kind of doing what the Saints lately, and you're kind of paying middle tier money to maybe a guy that is on the other side of his career or something like that? The Saints might get excited. They actually probably have cap space this year.
Right.
Go all in. But, I could see it as a possibility. They really need to do everything they can to try to, make this offense turn itself around. But honestly, in reality, it probably won't happen that way, but you never know with them.
I would love for the Saints to do a deal, say, for George Pickens. But I agree with you. It's hard to imagine a world where they pay both a guy like Chris Olave and a top-tier guy like Pickens. So when you look at the other free agents, you're talking about guys like Romeo Doubs, Mike Evans, who you mentioned kind of on the other side of his career. There's Juwan Jennings, Christian Kirk, Alec Pierce. These are all names that are in Bill Barnwell's piece over at ESPN.com today, and he kind of makes case for all where they could land. Wan'Dale Robinson with the Giants, Deebo Samuel, Rashid Shaheed, who I think will probably end up resigning in Seattle. Do any of those names make sense for New Orleans to sign in or target in this free agent market?
I have trouble believing that Tampa would not make a play to keep Evans if there's a chance that he's going to their direct rival. But that would be an extremely interesting signing. I'd be all for it if it works, even though, yes, like you said, he is a guy that has been injured and is on the downside of his career, but still extremely productive receiver. Juwan Jennings would be really interesting, but, the Niners, probably they have their own receiver issues. They're probably not going to want everyone out of the building. If you're not looking at free agency, I meant to say this earlier, the Bills might have a trade candidate now that probably won't take a lot of capital, and that's Keon Coleman, for those listening, after they just kind of trashed him all over their press conference a few days ago. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
It's where I wanted to go next, because there are different paths, right? I mean, there's draft, there's free agency, there's retention, there's trades. We talked about A.J. Brown because that's the big name. What do you think the situation is there with Coleman? And is that a realistic possibility for New Orleans, maybe if he's cut, or some of these cut candidates that are out there?
Well, the Saints have kind of loved doing that this year, right? Like plucking guys from the streets or via, small trades that have potential. Polk is obviously the one. Jalen Polk is the one that comes to mind. We haven't seen him play yet. That was in a trade entirely based on potential and what the Saints think they could do with him in the future, which is really interesting. Devon Bailey is not quite the same because he actually did play, but, they made that trade, a guy that hadn't played that much. So I mean, and Coleman has played, but yeah, if that is a possibility, it kind of seems like it'd be right up the Saints' alley to do that. But what's interesting is we haven't seen a leak, from the other side after that press conference happened, explaining, how Coleman feels about it and what's going on. So there's probably a lot of smoothing over going on right now. So maybe nothing happens, but it did put them in a spot where if he suddenly is up for trade, they're not going to get much out of it. So a lot of teams would be interested, I'm sure.
A couple other names that are out there as potential trade candidates. I mean, Quentin Johnson, Brian Thomas Jr., Xavier Legette, DJ Moore. So, I mean, if the Saints want to be aggressive, there are options. But to bring it full circle where you started, I think it's also very likely that if the right guy is there at 8 overall, they might pull the trigger on a receiver. I don't know if you've done any draft prep yet, but is there someone you like at 8 overall? Would you endorse the Saints taking a receiver at 8 overall?
I'm not going to lie. I haven't done a ton of draft
I get it.
yet.
Yeah. We're not quite to that season yet.
Yeah, I know. We're close, though.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I feel like I took the week after the season off, and now we're right back into draft mode with the Senior Bowl next week. But, I think that is the way to go for them. I think that they have a full offseason with Kellen Moore to, put in his offense with Tyler Shough. They can start building chemistry. I think, getting a pass catcher in some way is a desperate need because you have so many unknown factors beyond the fact that your entire receiver group is up in the air after Olave. You don't know what's going to happen with Taysom Hill, so that's one pass catcher that could potentially retire. Alvin Kamara, I don't know what's happening with his future. That's another pass catcher. And I know we're not talking receivers, but, you got to have guys that can catch the ball. I mean, at the end of the season, Chuck was throwing to people whose names will be forgotten in a few weeks.
I literally don't even know who the receivers were the final weekend.
Yeah, I don't mean to be insulting, but it's true. And you're throwing to Kevin Austin Jr. and guys that by the summer people will be struggling to remember who it was. And Chuck was making it work. That's the thing, though. Yeah. The Saints are making it work. So imagine what a full offseason and maybe a receiver at the top of the draft could do for him. So I think that's kind of exciting if you really like offense and you're interested to see what the Saints could do after they start building this offense. I sound like Kellis Moore now. He loves saying build things out. So I'm trying not to say that, but it sounded like something he'd say.
I guess build it out is like the new Our League, which was a very popular one.
Our League.
Around these parts for a long time. Okay, so if, let's say hypothetically, Olave, draft a receiver, Vele, Polk, do you think that's enough?
It doesn't feel like it. Maybe it's because we just really don't know that much about what Polk is going to be able to do as a Saint. I mean, maybe it's such an unknown. It doesn't really feel like enough, but maybe that's because they also need to go figure out the tight end position too. Foster Moreau also has a voiding contract, so that's another guy on the offense that you don't know what's going to happen to him. So they have a lot of offensive needs. So a lot of work to be done this offseason.
Senior Bowl next week. You'll be there in Mobile?
I will be at the Senior Bowl. And, as anyone who follows the Saints knows, they love at the Senior Bowl, and they always pick a lot of players from here. So a guy playing next week could be one of the Saints' next top draft picks. So that's always kind of cool to think about.
Staff will be involved there. Saints staff members will be involved in the Senior Bowl as well, coaching their side. So we'll be watching Kat Terrell, ESPN.com, on Twitter at @Kat_Terrell. Give her a follow. We appreciate it. Thanks for making it work.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course, it is After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. Brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing. So we had a ton of rain, obviously, the past couple of days, and everyone's preparing now for this ice event, the freeze that's supposed to be coming. We'd love to help you out. Parrish Construction and Roofing. If you've noticed an issue with your roof as a result of this rain the past couple days, give us a shout. Let one of our inspectors come, get up on your roof, see if you have any issues. Love to help you through it. If maybe through this event on the backside you notice issues with your roof, we can help you out. Parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Just fill out the form on the homepage. We'll get in touch. Do business with someone you know. Parrishbuilt.com. parishbuilt.com. We do work all over the state of Louisiana, so it doesn't matter where you are. And we actually have a physical office in New Orleans as well, with boots on the ground there in the 504 and the 985 every single day. So we'd love to help you out at Parish Construction Roofing, parishbuilt.com. And I'll tell you also, we do gutters and soft wash, commercial or residential. On our social media, we have this up. Hat tip to Matt Q and his staff that handle all the soft washing. We just recently did a soft wash project over at LSU at Patrick F. Taylor. And if you're watching, there's the photo right there, the before and after. It's remarkable how much this will beautify a space. So we do that for any of your exterior, your hardscape, the exterior of your home, your commercial building, your roof as well, which can beautify your roof, get the algae off, help extend the life of your roof. Love to help you out. Parish Construction and Roofing. Do business with someone you know. Parishbuilt.com. Parishbuilt.com. All right, it's after further review. Excuse me. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll go around the SEC when we come back. And, man, some legacies, some Tiger legacies got offers today. You want to talk about making you feel old? We'll get to that. Mel Kiper's got a mock draft up. We'll do that in about 30 minutes. Chris Doering will be here 1 hour from right now. David Helman in hour 3. We're jam-packed. Got a lot to do. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
After further review.
GLO, glowresources.com, glowresources.com. Glow Resources, they are
great
complete employer solutions.
So your experience with offshore
Remember,
accounts
when you work with Glow Resources,
is literal?
You have nothing to lose. I want to stress this.
Yeah.
You've been on the
I
fence
have
thinking
assets
about
in
it.
like
Calling
all the
Glow
7
Resources
seats.
to help you find the right people.
Okay.
To help
Let your hiring
maximize
process
productivity
walk the
at
plank.
your business.
From top talent
Working with Glow
acquisition
Resources,
to HR
you have nothing to
expertise,
lose.
Glow
They
Resources
have a
specializes in building
96%
high-performing teams.
Success rate.
Glow
96%
Resources,
success
complete
rate.
employer
and
solutions.
if for whatever reason
The best project managers are
the
team
employee they
leaders.
find does not work for you, if you're in the very infinitesimal
Ta-da!
percentage that doesn't
Team
work,
leader,
they're going to give you a
not
prorated
ring
refund,
leader. Oh.
or they will
Pack it
find
up.
you
Don't
another
juggle with your
employee
project
for free.
success. Just leave it.
You want a permanent solution to help make your business
From
more
top talent
productive,
acquisition
more
to
profitable?
HR expertise,
Glow
Glow Resources
can help.
specializes in building
Check them out
high-performing
online at
teams.
glowresources.com. GLO, glowresources.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Trust isn't given, it's earned. Earned by showing up, putting in the work, the hours that nobody sees. I didn't get here on my own. I trust my coaches to lead, my teammates to step up, and when the game is on the line, Our Lady of the Lake to keep me healthy and on the court. Because it takes a champion to care for a champion. I trust the Lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith,
If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Light Mayor Sean Fagan and Associates.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
LSU coaching staff was out on the road today, all over the state of Louisiana. Lane Kiffin spent the bulk of the day down in New Orleans, saw a 5-star number 1 receiver, Easton Royal, down at Brother Martin, spent time over at Shough, posted a photo over at Edna Carr. The staff was out and about working today. It's one of the things that we'll continue to say that is pretty it's been pretty outstanding so far, is seeing the way that this staff has worked. I was told last night, kind of with landing Prince Wilumon Miel, and really all the hay is in the barn for this transfer portal class with 41 additions, and we're still waiting to see what happens as they continue to recruit Jordan Seaton, and we'll see. But for all intents and purposes, they're done in the portal unless if Seaton wants to come aboard. So they kind of took a night last night. Some of the staff members went to the lounge area over at Supper Club and kind of were able to unwind and celebrate a little bit. And much deserved, right? After the 3-week sprint they just went through, from think about what these last 3 weeks have been like. I mean, it's been exhausting just for you and me talking about it every day. They were living it. From January 2nd, when the portal opened, I mean, having averaged 12 to 15 visitors a day come through the facility, not only showing them the facility, touring them, going to dinners, managing the roster, GM Billy Glasscock working out the contracts, making the finances work, all of it. I mean, they went through one heck of a 3-week stretch, and as a result, for their hard work, LSU landed the number 1 transfer portal class, and a lot of people are going to have outstanding expectations for this 2026 season in year 1 under Lane Kiffin. So they took a little time, but they're right back at it today doing high school recruiting. And as I understand it, sort of the next phase is, yes, they're recruiting for the 2027 class and beyond, but also they're looking, Lane Kiffin kind of gave the charge to his staff to say, go back through everything and find sleepers. We've already seen LSU add 2 2026 defensive backs. Louisiana kids, defensive backs that they feel like have a big upside, and so they took them. And there may be more between now and the February signing period if they want to add. We have this roster tracker up at LouisianaSports.net, and it's totally free, as we always talk about with LouisianaSports.net. If you want to go check it out, the tracker's free. What's interesting is, we've got every time a player has been publicly announced leaving the program, joining the program, retaining, whatever the case may be, we add it to the tracker. So if you look at the roster tracker, LSU has announced 25 players returning. That's LSU's, they've done the graphic, like back for a year or two or whatever. They've announced 25 players returning. 35 players entered the transfer portal. We know they've added 41 via their portal class, and then they've got 16 high school signees. Well, if you look at the 16 high school signees, the 25 they've announced returning, the 41 that they've added via the portal, that puts you at 72. I asked a staff member today to check my math, and this person told me that they're over 90 on the roster. Remember, you can have 105. So I think probably with there are more players returning that just didn't get the graphic announcement. There's probably some walk-ons who were part of the program that were invited to return. So that's going to be maybe interesting to see how those numbers all work out. But remember, you can have up to 105 on your roster now. I don't know if LSU gets to 105, but they can. So all that to say, there's still room if there are more players they want to add between now and the start of the season in the fall. So just something to file away. There could be more. Interestingly, there were a couple of legacies that got offers. It's so wild to say it, but B.J. LaFell, that's Brandon's son, got an offer today from LSU. He shared on his Twitter and on social media. Said after speaking with Coach McDonald, blessed to receive an offer from LSU. So B.J. LaFell, Brandon's son, who is, of course, Brandon LaFell, great former Tiger member of the 2007 National Championship team. Brandon LaFell's son has an LSU offer, which is just insane to think. And then Jalen Adai, yes, that would be Joe Adai's son, tweeted earlier today as well after a great conversation with Coach McDonald, blessed to receive an offer from LSU. So actually the photo he shared was a photo of his dad from 2006 in his LSU uniform, a playing card, a press pass playing card. So anyway, Joe Adai's son and Brandon LaFell's son, a couple of LSU legacies, have gotten LSU offers now coming out of high school. So we'll keep you posted on how those recruitments go. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. You can always check them out online. Remember, y'all, we are inching closer to Valentine's Day. Gents, we are about 3 weeks away. 3 weeks from Saturday is Valentine's Day. Don't screw it up. Thrill her with a gift in the red box from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Maybe you're thinking of popping the question. Of course, nobody's got a better selection than Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry of beautiful diamond engagement rings. Maybe you're celebrating an anniversary. Maybe it's your 30th, 40th, 50th Valentine's Day together, whatever it may be. They've got tons of great options from rings and watches and bracelets and pendants and necklaces and everything, earrings, everything you can imagine for any different budget. Check them out at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Auburn Tigers.
Auburn has landed a commitment from Miami. Transfer offensive lineman Derek Plaz entered the portal after the Canes lost the national championship game. Has 3 years of eligibility remaining, 6'4", 310. Will be an interior option. Was a backup in the 2025 season. He was the number 42 interior offensive lineman in the country back in the class of 2024.
The Florida Gators.
East Carolina cornerback Jordy Lowry is now Florida cornerback Jordy Lowry. He's a redshirt senior, so going into his 5th season. Spent 2025 at ECU after beginning his career at Western Carolina, where he spent 3 seasons. 1 season with the Pirates. He had 27 tackles, 4 passes, defense, so we'll give you some options there in the Florida secondary.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Kalen DeBose landed former Mississippi State offensive tackle Javen James, 6'5", 320. Got 2 years of eligibility remaining. He has started 21 games during his time in Stark, Vegas. Played 824 snaps at left tackle for the Bulldogs this past year.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss has flipped star linebacker Luke Farrelly from Clemson. So Farrelly played at Cal, had been committed to Clemson, and is now flipped to Ole Miss. He was a redshirt freshman this year in 2025. 6'3", 230, had 87 tackles, which was second on the team there for Cal. He was the ACC Defensive Freshman of the Year. Yes, Cal linebacker Luke Farrelly, ACC Defensive Freshman of the Year. Remember, Cal's in the ACC. It's weird. He's the 27th portal addition for Ole Miss.
The Texas Longhorns.
And Texas added quarterback depth with Coastal Carolina quarterback M.J. Morris. Played at NC State, Maryland as well before going to Coastal Carolina. Now will be at his 4th stop when he joins the Texas Longhorns, which already has a lot of depth there with Arch Manning, KJ Lacey, and Dia Bell, the former 5-star. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Of course, it is not just healthcare. It's healthcare for your lifestyle. So if you're bringing a baby home from the hospital and you need to sleep at night, their expertly trained nurses can come in-home, take care of your baby while you sleep so you can be your most productive self during the day. Maybe it's end-of-life care. Maybe you've been given a really tough diagnosis. Our friends over at Decision Critical have the expertly trained nurses to help with anything it may be. If it's hospice care, if it's carrying out a physician's orders post-op, maybe you had surgery and you're going to need help in-home post-operatively, they can help. It's decision critical. They can do therapeutic phlebotomy. Maybe you're a man on HRT and you don't want to go to a blood center. You don't have the time, but you need to give blood. They can come to your home or your office. Boom, knock it out in 20, 30 minutes. I told you they've come to our home to give Erica a IV hydration when she was sick. She had strep throat during the Christmas holidays. They came to our house, gave her an IV. They've come to our home to do blood labs, to do the blood draw in Drew so we could do it comfortably in our home. They're awesome, and they're all over Louisiana, and they got their Dallas office open as well now. DecisionCriticalBR.com, DecisionCriticalBR.com. It's not just healthcare. It's healthcare for your lifestyle. DecisionCriticalBR.com. All right, it's after further review, y'all. We're going to knock out a break. In about 15 minutes, we'll talk about Mel Kiper's first mock draft, what he has the Saints doing, and where does he have Mansour Delane going? It is in round one. We'll tell you where. That's coming up in just a smidge. When we come back, though, two really significant quarterback decisions that are playing out in court that could very well shape, in a large way, the 2026 college football season. We'll give you the updates on Trinidad Chambliss and Darian Mensah. That's next on AFR.
After further review.
Well, speaking of court, get Gordon and get it done. Not that type of court, though. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. Always encourage you to start at the website, getgordon.com, getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Or maybe you'd rather talk to someone, and that's totally cool, too. I mean, I understand. If you've been in an accident, you can feel vulnerable. You can want to make sure that you're not being taken advantage of. You want to make sure you get what you are entitled to. Maybe you would rather have a phone conversation with somebody. It's easy. Go to getgordon.com or call 888-8888, 888-8888, 888-8888 for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. As we always say, don't leave it to chance. Don't go it alone. Let someone who is experienced go to bat for you. That's Gordon and his team. So go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I receive at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Shaw & Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Shaw & Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
This new year, Hood Dental wants you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays, a $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care, Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And for January only, save 15% up to $150 on restorative treatment. Schedule today at hooddentalcare.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
Wrapping up hour number one. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. There are two lingering quarterback legal issues that could in many ways shape and help shape the 2026 college football season. One is Trinidad Chambliss, and the other is with Darian Mensah. From the Ole Miss side of things, there's a growing belief that Trinidad Chambliss is going to win in court. I don't know that that is actually even the question. That feels like a foregone conclusion that he will get a TRO, the temporary restraining order, allowing him to play. That's why they went to a Mississippi state court instead of a federal judge. Of course, Trinidad Chambliss is going to get that TRO. The real question is, with respect to Chambliss, is what does the NFL say? Because every conversation I've had with anyone close to associated with Chambliss, Ole Miss, this whole process, it's been very clear that the issue at hand is the draft. If Chambliss is a projected first-round pick, if that's the draft grade he's getting back, if NFL teams are telling him he's going to be a first-round pick, then he's going to go to the NFL. If Trinidad Chambliss is told he's a day 2 pick or whatever, then I think he's going to go take $5-6 million and go play the season at Ole Miss. That's going to be massively significant because if Chambliss is back at Ole Miss, then even in spite of everything they've lost, obviously having that quarterback returning at his age 24 season is going to be a tremendous opportunity to bridge the gap from the Kiffin era to the Pete Golding era. If they had to go to Deuce Knight, who's an incredible talent but hasn't played, you would expect a dip with what they've lost and losing the head coach and the offensive coordinator. I mean, I've said pretty routinely my thought on that whole situation is very similar to how I felt about when LSU hired Jake Peetz to be the offensive coordinator. Remember that? When Steve Ensminger retired and Joe Brady was gone, Ed Ogeron tried to bring in someone that could run that offense. And so he went to Joe Brady and said, who should we hire? He said, who could run this offense? He said, Jake Peetz. So Ed Ogeron hired Jake Peetz, and it was not good. I don't know that it was all Jake Peetz's fault. I think that's part of it. But also, Miles Brennan got hurt. You had Max Johnson running out there, throwing passes backwards against UCLA, and it was bad. So the fact that they went and hired John David Baker because he had been on staff under Kiffin at one point, I don't think that necessarily means you're just going to roll offensively. But one thing that would help them, obviously, is if Trinidad Chambliss returns. So really for Chambliss, it's not so much watch what happens in court, it's watch what happens with the NFL. The other is Darian Mensah, and Mensah is going to be an interesting one to watch because Duke is holding him to his contract and trying not to allow him to enter the transfer portal. Now, a judge has said he can enter the portal, but he can't play until it's rectified. Now, good luck, good luck enforcing that. This was an attorney named Alan Fertel was on Locked On Canes. And obviously, Miami has a huge interest in this because they don't have a quarterback. And so if Darian Mensah is their quarterback, they're going to be a contender. If not, they're really up against it right now. Here was this attorney on why Mensah's contract is so strong.
There's something called a restrictive covenant, a covenant not to compete. The Duke lawyers put it into an NIL deal. It's exclusive. Duke claims the agreement grants the university exclusive rights to Mensah's NIL in the categories of higher education and football through December 2026. Duke alleges that Mensah entered into a non-compete agreement not to enroll at or compete for another college institution during the contract period when he's getting paid $8 million, 4 and 4 plus. There's also bonuses. There's contact restrictions. in this deal where his family members and agents can't contact any other institution, etc. There's no buyout clause. And here's the other kicker. The contract requires arbitration.
So it seems like Duke may have a case. And if Darian Mensah is held to his agreement with Duke, Miami is in trouble because they don't have another option. They missed on Brendan Sorsby. They missed on Sam Levitt. They've missed here in the portal. So they were willing to spend freely $8 million there to get Darian Mensah, and they may not have Darian Mensah. So we'll follow that, of course, as it moves along. All right, it's After Further Review. We are brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. You know where they are, conveniently located on Airline Highway, just north of Highland. They're Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, and it is a great time to go shop because the 2026s are on the lot. Was there earlier this week. Get by and see my friends at South Point Volkswagen or shop them online at southpointvw.com. The entire inventory, if it's on the lot, it's online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, y'all, we'll get you caught up on national headlines. The Sports Center here in just a quick second. We'll come back. Mel Kiper's first mock draft is out. What are the Saints doing at 8?
AFR.
It is a busy time for my friends over at First South Farm Credit. Why? Why is January, the beginning of a new year, the busy time for our friends at First South Farm Credit? Well, it's going to make sense when I tell you because so many people, as hunting season finishes, they look around and go, yeah, I'm sick of leasing a property. I'm sick of hunting on somebody else's land. I'm tired of not shooting the big buck because I want to save it for the owner of the property. So when hunting season ends is when people start to go, ready for my own property. This is the time First South Farm Credit can help. They've been doing this since 1916, y'all. More than 100 years, 110 years. First South Farm Credit has done one thing: help Louisianians buy land for agriculture, recreational land, the 100 acres to build your family's dream home. You want to buy land? Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Log on to firstsouthland.com.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana propane dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Giannis Antetokounmpo is now thrilled these days with the Bucks, who've lost 4 of 5, including 3 in a row by 18 or more points. He said they're not playing hard, not doing the right things, not playing together, and guys are being selfish. Giannis's future has been a big topic over the last several months, and it is one that won't likely include the Bucks, says ESPN NBA insider Brian Windhorst.
I'm telling you, the entire NBA is circled around them right now. And if it's not teams who want to trade for Giannis in the next 2 weeks, the deadline is 2 weeks from today, it's teams that know that if there's a Giannis trade, that there's going to be offshoots of it. And that's just the truth. Teams believe that this is going to end in a divorce, and probably sooner rather than later.
Bucks currently 11th in the East. 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey and 4 quarterbacks. With the Rams, Matthew Stafford, Patriots Drake May, Jaguars Trevor Lawrence, and Buffalo's Josh Allen, finalists for NFL MVP. The Cowboys hired Eagles passing game coordinator and secondary coach Christian Parker as their new defensive coordinator. Baseball, the Rangers making a move to strengthen their pitching staff, acquired left-hander Mackenzie Gore from the Nationals in exchange for a handful of prospects.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Friday, Matthew Stafford is probably the MVP of the league, but I'll tell you why he'll be playing for his legacy on Sunday night. It's on Sportsman, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Hour 2, welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Decision Critical, Concierge Nursing. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You show. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Chris Doering will be here at the bottom of this hour. Talk a little bit about LSU's receiver portal haul. Looking forward to that conversation. David Helman will be here in 1 hour. We'll take a look at the NFL championship weekend, which is coming up on Sunday, AFC, NFC championship game. We'll talk to our buddy David Helman coming up in just a little bit. So there will be 4 teams playing in the NFL playoffs this weekend for the right to go to the Super Bowl. For the other 28 teams in the NFL, it's all about preparing for 2026. The Senior Bowl week is next week in Mobile. Hester and Flynn will be there, anchoring our coverage. We're looking forward to that. Short time after that, you'll have the Combine and so on. So we're kind of into the evaluation and starting to build rosters for 2026 and beyond. And so naturally, we're going to have mock draft season cranking up. Our buddy Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net has already been putting out Saints projected mock drafts. Just kind of get an idea of what prospects might be out there. Start to familiarize yourself with what names could be on the board and what positions and players that New Orleans may target. Mel Kiper's mock draft, his mock draft 1.0, first mock draft, is out. And, I guess first mock draft since the end of the college season. And since we now know the full the full crop of underclassmen that have declared for the draft. And Fernando Mendoza, no surprise, the Indiana quarterback, he has going number 1 overall to the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders traded a third-round pick for Geno Smith a year ago. Obviously, that hasn't worked. They'll likely be looking for their franchise quarterback with a new head coach, and Mendoza would obviously make the most sense right there. Jets have the second pick. Kiper's got him taking Arvell Reese. This is a guy who, as we were looking during the season and talking about potential players that could be mocked to New Orleans, Arvell Reese is one that came up because I think it's pretty obvious when you look at the positions the Saints will probably be looking at with the 8th pick. And we've talked about him. It's receiver, it's edge rusher, it's number 1 cornerback. So really it's a matter of, is there a player at that position that they value with that pick? And Arvell Reese would certainly be one if he's available. Hard to imagine him maybe making it to 8. Kiper's got Francis Mauigoa from Miami, the offensive tackle, going 3 overall to Arizona. Can't see the Saints taking an offensive lineman. David Bailey, the outside linebacker from Texas Tech, going 4 to the Titans. Carnell Tate, the wide receiver from Ohio State, 5 to the New York Giants. That's interesting because you're going to watch the receivers here at the top of this draft because it's very likely if one of these elite level receivers are on the board at 8, the Saints could pull the trigger on one of these elite receivers. So Tate from Ohio State, we know the Saints love their Ohio State players. Tate, if he's on the board at 8, could very well be a guy that New Orleans might be interested in. Kiper's got him coming off the board there at 5 to the Giants to be a big-time weapon there for Jackson Dart. Spencer Fano, the offensive tackle from Utah, going 6 to the Browns. Ruben Bain, 7 to the Commanders. And I love this. With the 8th pick, Mel Kiper has the New Orleans Saints taking Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State. We laughed a lot during the Sean Payton era about how Drew Brees was throwing to relative unknowns. There was one Monday Night Football game back when Tony Kornheiser was calling Monday Night Football, and he made a crack that like, a lot of people got offended by it. I didn't. I thought it was actually a compliment. But Kornheiser made a crack where he said, Drew Brees is throwing to guys they found on Bourbon Street. And I think in the point he was making was a compliment to Drew Brees, and it was to illustrate, like, Marcus Colston was a 7th rounder. Lance Moore was an undrafted free agent they signed in the Katrina year from, I believe, from the Browns. Like, they never invested high capital at the wide receiver position in the Peyton Brees era. They found guys that fit what they wanted to do and made it work. They invested in the offensive line. They invested in the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. They have obviously since in the first round taken Chris Olave, as we know, and I think that Olave's time in New Orleans has been checkered. It has been hit or miss. He's had injury issues, and had you not used a mid-first round pick, a high first-round pick actually, on Chris Olave, it's the same conversation that we had for years here about Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram in a vacuum had a very nice, solid NFL career. The problem is you traded back into round 1 to take Mark Ingram. What you gave up to get a guy that you didn't even pick up as 5th-year option was not equivalent to the investment. That was the problem. Not that Ingram wasn't a good player. He was a solid NFL running back. But what you invested, you did not get a return on your investment. I'd say the same thing about Olave at this point. Maybe that changes, and maybe this was a springboard year to him having an exceptional all-pro caliber career for the next decade, and that would be great. I don't know that I necessarily believe that's going to happen. But if you pair Olave with a true dynamic game-breaking number 1 wide receiver like Jordan Tyson, I would be all about that. Because if you truly believe you have your franchise quarterback in Tyler Shough, then you have to give him an investment to be able to build an offense capable of winning a championship. Now, Tyson, if you're not familiar, 6'2", 200-pounder. He's out of Texas, plays college ball at Arizona State. Just finished up his junior year, 61 catches, over 700 yards, 8 touchdowns, averaged about 12 yards a reception. So he's a guy that has that legit number one type ability. He and Tate are the ones that you're going to see projected most at the top of this receiver class. So if New Orleans is looking at a receiver at 8, and I hope they are, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson are the ones to watch. Mel Kiper has New Orleans going with Tyson. Jordan Tyson from Arizona State, 8th overall. That's probably one you're going to see mocked quite a bit as we get nearer the draft. For whatever it's worth, the rest of the top 10, Kiper's got Jeremiah Love going one pick later to the Kansas City Chiefs. I love that. Pass on Jeremiah Love. It's not a referendum on Love. It's a referendum on the position. Ashton Genty, the Raiders just took him with a top 5 pick, and the Raiders were the worst team in the NFL. New Orleans saw Alvin Kamara get injured, saw Devin Neal get injured. By the end of the season, they're rolling with Audric Estime, and he was competent. You can find quality running backs in the NFL without using a high first-round pick on them. I would be completely opposed to the Saints taking Jeremiah Love with the 8th overall pick. But they have him going a pick later, 9 to the Kansas City Chiefs. And then the Bengals at 10 taking Caleb Downs, the safety from Ohio State. Could you just draft Joe Burrow some offensive linemen, please? But if you're wondering, the other big question I'm sure that a lot of people have is about LSU cornerback. Well, interestingly enough, they have the Jets with their second pick in round 1 via the Colts, taking Ty Simpson from Alabama at 16 overall. It's the only other quarterback in round 1. But Mansour Delane, they have going 18 to the Minnesota Vikings. So he'd be going up with going up against Justin Jefferson in practice every day. But Mansour Delane, 18 to the Minnesota Vikings as the second cornerback off the board if it plays out that way. So just a few things to keep an eye on there. Mel Kiper's first draft. We'll learn much more about the draft process after next week with the Senior Bowl. Then they'll head to the Combine in Indy. You'll start seeing pro days and a lot of the workouts and top 30 visits. We're into draft season, so it's going to be exciting to see what moves Kellen Moore going into year 2 makes, building this offense around what they think is their franchise quarterback. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shough Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShaughBillsTire.com. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. And, of course, they'll treat you like family, keep you coming back year after year after year. ShaughBillsTire.com, ShaughBillsTire.com. That is ShaughBillsTire.com for Shough Bills Tire and Auto Service. Remember, they work so hard to pair their in-house offer with the manufacturer's offer. So sometimes it may be you have a manufacturer's offer, plus if you use the Shough Bills credit card, you get an additional discount. For example, the first time you use your Shough Bills credit card, you get $50 off whatever purchase. So if you use your Shough Bills credit card the first time for an oil change, it's effective like getting a free oil change. It's Shough Bills Tire and Auto Service. Go to the website, hit the promotions tab at the top of the page, and you'll see all the different promotions they have to get you the best tires on the road at the cheapest price possible. It's Shough Bills Tire and Auto Service. ShaughBillsTire.com, ShaughBillsTire.com, Shough Bills. We keep you rolling. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. And one of the things we've done a good bit here as we've rolled through this portal cycle with LSU is try to get as many of the LSU transfers on the show, and we're continuing to work through that as a lot of these guys are showing up on campus and getting settled, and we're going to continue to do that. Talking to people also who have covered these transfer portal players. So when we come back, Kellis Robinett is going to join us, covered Jace Brown at Kansas State. So we'll get a little tidbit on that, one of the top-rated receivers in the portal. We'll do that next on AFR.
AFR.
Okay, y'all, the rain has kind of come and gone, but, the freezing temps are showing up next. And if you've been following all the projections, we're headed for a freeze, sort of an ice freeze in parts of South Louisiana. So our friends over at Clegg's want to remind you that they have all the things you need to get ready for the freeze, for your plants, and for your outdoor spaces. Miss Teresa sent me this yesterday. They do have the drop cloths to cover your plants with the freeze coming. So you want to protect your plants. They got those. And they also have the wraps for your pipe, your exposed pipes and things like that on the exterior of your home. So if you are preparing for this freeze, which you should be, get by Clegg's. They got the cloths to cover your plants and everything to wrap your pipes, and, of course, everything else that you would need there. So buy local, shop local, 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Get ready for this freeze, y'all. Clegg's can help. It's our friends over at Clegg's Nursery.
I have no doubt that Our Lady of the Lake will keep me healthy. They make sure to do whatever they can in their power to make sure that we are 100%. They're constantly giving us resources, giving us advice on what to do. I think that just really helps us be the best players that we can be.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home, with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
One of the big gets that Lane Kiffin nabbed in this portal cycle is former Kansas State wide receiver Jace Brown. Kellis Robinett covered Jace Brown there during his time at Kansas State. For the Wichita Eagle, Casey Starr, kansascity.com is where you can read his work, kansascity.com. Good enough to join us here for a couple of minutes. Kellis, thanks for the time, man. How are you?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Doing really well. Things are settling down a little bit after a pretty wild portal cycle in these parts. I mean, Lane Kiffin's never boring, but a lot of people are really excited about Jace Brown. If you would give us sort of the Cliff's Notes version, or you the lead when you talk about Jace Brown, what type of player is he?
He's just a really good receiver. One thing that Kansas State didn't do a whole lot of when Chris Kleiman was coach here was identify and recruit really good wide receivers, but Jace Brown was kind of the exception to that rule. He came in as a freshman and made an immediate impact, had some big-time catches as a sophomore, won a game against Colorado when they were really good under Deion Sanders, and they had Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders last year with a strike in the fourth quarter to him, and just always seemed to be the guy that when Kansas State really needed to throw the ball and get a first down, throw the ball and get a touchdown, big play, Brown was always the guy they targeted over the last 3 seasons. So just a really good receiver who unfortunately just was kind of perpetually injured at times during Kansas State. That lowered his ceiling a little bit, but otherwise just a nice kid, really good football player.
Why? Any idea why he chose to hit the portal?
Oh, I think it's just what happens anymore in college football. His value was probably more going to a new team than it was staying at Kansas State. And for a guy who's from Florida, he came here and gave 3 really good seasons, built a nice rapport with quarterback Avery Johnson, and put up some good numbers. I don't really blame him for trying to look somewhere else and experiencing something new before he leaves college football. I don't think that he was unhappy or anything like that, but there's a coaching change, new offensive coordinator, new head coach. I think he just wanted to get a little bit closer to home and bring in a little bit more NIL money.
Yeah, he's the 4th highest rated receiver in the portal, according to On3. Based on what you saw over 3 years, does that map? Does that make sense to see him that highly rated?
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of players in the transfer portal who were better. I think if he could have stayed healthy this last season, he'd have been a 1,000-yard receiver and an all Big 12 receiver at Kansas State. He was really good. Talent was never the issue for him here. Getting the ball to him at times was difficult, and keeping him on the field was difficult just because, like I said, he was always it just seemed like he was always kind of banged up here and there for whatever reason. The dream for him would be to have a clear bill of health as a senior and then go out with a bang at LSU. You
can get him on Twitter at Kellis. Robinett, KansasCityStar.com is where you can read his work. You mentioned the injuries a couple times. Is it maybe an issue of just bad injury luck, or is that a real concern, the ability to stay healthy?
At times it was certainly bad luck. Like this year, he ends the season early during a game at Oklahoma State where he catches the pass across the middle, has a really nice long gain, gets tackled awkwardly, and ends up with severely sprained or broken collarbone and can't play anymore this season. That's just bad luck. It's not him not preparing well or anything like that. He just gets tackled awkwardly onto the turf, and he's done for the year. But there have certainly been times where, Kansas State never went into a bunch of details about his injuries, but it just seemed like anytime we would ask, hey, why did Jason only get targeted 4 or 5 times this game, when last game he had 12 catches, it was, well, he was banged up. He's been dealing with some stuff. He hasn't been able to practice. And I really can't explain why that is. He certainly was in shape, took good care of his body, and worked as hard as anybody else on the team. For his sake, I hope it was bad luck. And, sometimes when these guys, there's programs and they introduce their bodies to a new training system, a new strength and conditioning coach, good things can happen to their bodies and they stay healthier. Maybe the injury bug will fall into LSU, but maybe he'll adjust some things and he'll be luckier and he'll be healthy next season.
Good locker room guy?
Yeah, for the most part. There was a little bit of a question last season near the end of the year. Word kind of leaked out that he was considering transferring before last season. And that didn't strike a lot of fans, in the greatest regard. But I did commend him that he stayed with the team till the end of the year and helped them win a bowl game, and came out and said he never was that close to transferring, and he wanted to come back and play with Avery Johnson again. Other than that, no complaints I ever heard about him. One of the most well-respected guys in the offense, and I think one of their best players.
He is Kellis Robinett, KansasCity.com, KansasCity.com. You'll read stuff covers the Kansas State Wildcats and now LSU wide receiver Jace Brown. If there's an area of the game where he could probably most improve during his time at LSU, what do you think that is?
I would just say consistently getting open. There's a lot that goes into that when he's in a new scheme with a new quarterback. I'm sure some of that will come naturally. Kansas State, I would just say his catches could be erratic. Like I mentioned, there was a game this year where he caught 12 balls for 109 yards and touchdown against North Dakota. Then the next game, it's 3 catches. That game was 4 catches. Or even there was a game where he played against Baylor where he gets shut out in the first half, doesn't have a single catch, but then bang, 4 catches for 106 yards and touchdown in the second half. So he's kind of like a streaky shooter in basketball. When he was hot, he was red hot. And I always found it interesting that when Kansas State really needed a big play, when they needed to go deep and get behind the defense, they could trust Chase Brown to do that. It was the other stuff when they were trying to hit intermediate routes, shorter routes. he wasn't always the go-to guy on those type of plays. So that would be what I would say. If there's any room to improve, it would be there, being a more consistent receiver in some shorter routes.
Tigers added 9 receivers via the transfer portal. The highest ranked among them is Jace Brown coming in from Kansas State. He's Kellis. Robinett, covers Kansas State for KansasCity.com. KansasCity.com, it's Wichita Eagle and the KC Star. Hey, man, thanks for taking a couple of minutes today. We appreciate it.
All right, you guys have a good one.
You do the same. It's our pleasure. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Tuesday was over at the Rouse's in Gramercy. It was a grand opening day in Gramercy and in Covington. Last week, it was Central and Destrehan, and they still got more to come as Rouse's are flipping 10 new locations that'll bring them up to 76 Rouse's locations. Had a chance to visit with Donnie Rouse and Marcy and Tim, our friends over at Rouse's, there at the grand opening at Gramercy on Tuesday. And I tell you, they're just great people. It's so impressive to watch how Rouse's has done it, right? I mean, they continue to grow and expand while maintaining local ownership. So you get the local feel of the family-owned and operated grocer that just continues to expand and do so the right way. It's Rouse's. King Cake season's here, y'all. You want to get your king cake or ship your king cake? You can do it at Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Send a king cake anywhere in the lower 48, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. 9 receivers via the portal. You know, we talked to Jackson Harris from Hawaii earlier this week. There's Trey Brown coming in from Old Dominion, a big 6'3" wide receiver. You just heard about Jace Brown. You have Trey Wilson from Florida, the former 5-star. As a matter of fact, Chris Doering's going to be with us in 5 minutes. I want to ask Doering about Trey Brown. Guy saw a good bit playing in the SEC there at Florida. Malik Elzy from Illinois, a guy who's been in college for 4 seasons and has a couple of years of eligibility, or 3 seasons, has a couple of years of eligibility remaining. And, from Illinois, not very productive. He's been a backup, but a big 6'4", big-bodied receiver. Tyree Holloway, a little bit of a project coming in. Winnie Watkins coming in from Ole Miss. Roman Mothershed, that's the big 6'5", big-bodied receiver that they brought in. You could just see the skill set that they very clearly targeted. Some dudes that are big-bodied receivers that are going to be blockers, guys that can help you out on the edge. They have like jitterbugs that like Trey Brown, like Trey Wilson. You get the ball in space. I mean, there's a reason he was a 5-star. And then a guy like Jace Brown from Kansas State, who you just heard, he's a deep threat. You need the big play. He's a guy that can get that for you. So I think they very clearly knew the skill sets they were looking at receiver in this portal class, and they went and addressed it. They had to remake that room. They added 9 guys via the portal. I think clearly there's so much excitement and focus on 2026, but I think the most interesting part of this receiver room is how many of these 9 receivers end up playing multiple years at LSU. Like, have you rebuilt that room with stability for multiple years? All right, it's After Further Review. Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. It's not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. Remember, DecisionCriticalBR.com, DecisionCriticalBR.com, all over. I know the website says BR, but they service the entire state of Louisiana, and their Dallas office is now open as well, DecisionCriticalBR.com. Okay, quick break. When we come back, Chris Doering, former Gator, SEC Network, good friend of the show. I want to talk about Lane Kiffin, the transfer portal class. I'll ask him about Trey Wilson as well, coming over from Florida. Excited to catch up with CD. We'll do that next here on AFR.
AFR.
Thinking about putting in a pool here in 2026? Make sure you check out DuplessisBuilders.net. As a matter of fact, do it right now. Like, if you're thinking about putting in a pool or have thought about putting in a pool, log on to DuplessisBuilders.net, 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 because I want you to use this tool on the homepage, which is really cool, where you can design your pool right there on the homepage. It's super easy. Hit the Pick Your Pool option, and they have 11 different designs. Now, you can do anything custom. You can do anything custom that you want. They could, big palatial resort-style pool. But they got 11 designs that are already made. You pick the design you like. You pick the coping, the tile. Do you want water jets? Do you want fountains, water features? Do you want lounge area? Whatever you want. And boom, 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 you pick it out, and there's your pool design right there. It's so cool. Check it out. It's at DuplessisBuilders.net. DuplessisBuilders.net.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Fabry Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Fabry family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Hi, this is Beth Tarina. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I definitely trust the lake to take care of my body. Being the smallest person on the court, I just have to be in a lot better shape than everyone else, just being quicker and faster. Just having that trust on and off the court is going to help you win a lot more games.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
Another little tap pass. Coming to Wilson, stutter step, and he will find Painter. Touchdown, Florida.
Trey Wilson's a guy a lot of LSU fans should be excited about. Going from the orange and blue to the purple and gold. They can't sit well with Chris Doering. Good enough to join us now. Yo, CD, how are you, man?
Good, man. You guys stealing all my guys, man. Jack Piper, and now you're stealing Trey Wilson, man. It's hurtful, bro.
How? I mean, look, it goes both ways, as it just is in the portal era.
Yeah.
How good is Trey Wilson?
Man, when he's healthy, he's amazing. I mean, he came in as a freshman and made an immediate impact. Injuries have certainly derailed his sophomore year and at times have kept him out since. So that's the biggest question is, can you consistently have him on the field and available? Because when he's out there, he's tough. I mean, he's a guy that's versatile, that can move around. You see him line up in a lot of different spots. You see him in motion a lot. So I think this is a great get, and hopefully he can stay healthy. As much as I joke around about it, I love his contribution here at Florida. I love getting a chance to watch him, and I'm happy I'll at least get the chance to continue to cover him here in the SEC.
Yeah, man. Lane Kiffin added 9 receivers. I mean, look, they had to remake that room. Guys, they lost the draft and the portal and all that stuff. You see, you just kind of put me in the mindset here of a receiver, why you would want to be part of a group of 9 players at your position if you're transferring with the idea of probably trying to get more playing time, right?
Yeah, but think about it, man. And receivers are the worst, right? It's the position of prima donnas, and certainly there's never been a receiver that's not told their quarterback they were open after coming back from a route downfield. But I played my senior year at Florida. It was me, Riddell Anthony, Ike Hilliard, Jaquez Green, Travis McGriff, and certainly, I love getting the ball thrown my way, but it makes it a very difficult offense for defenses to stop when you have that many options. I mean, when you're getting your fourth or fifth best cover person lined up with a receiver that's good, it certainly makes it an advantage for the offense. So I go back and look at Ole Miss last year. Ole Miss's offense was tough to stop because not only do they have a great group of receivers, but they got a tight end as well. And Lane Kiffin knows how to keep those guys happy, and I think they understand what the benefits of being in an offense that has that many different options.
Winnie Watkins is one of the receivers that came over from Ole Miss. Like, did you have much of a chance to see him at all this year as a freshman there at Ole Miss?
Yeah, I got a chance to see him some, and certainly he's a dynamic receiver as well. A guy that's I believe down here in South Florida, coming out of high school.
Yeah.
But a guy that I talked to a lot of folks there in Oxford throughout the season. They were really high on. I know that Lane Kiffin was really high on him as well. So clearly they've made the trip over to Baton Rouge together, and I think he's going to be a guy that certainly emerges as more of a go-to factor in the offense this year in Baton Rouge.
Chris Doering's with us, SEC Network, former Gator great. Get him at Chris Doering on Twitter, X. CD, one of the interesting things that we're going to be watching a lot is Blake Baker is back. The whole defensive staff is there. They got a ton of talent. I think most people assume the defense will be good. The offense, it's going to be an evolution, right? They were so bad running the football, and they didn't score more than 24 points during the season this year against Power 4 until the bowl game. But I think we all just assume, okay, well, Lane Kiffin's here. The offense is going to be great. Is that a fair assumption that Kiffin will come in year one and the offense will just hit their stride?
I think, I can look at it from the perspective of the Florida fan base that thought that was going to be the same thing if they could have gotten Lane Kiffin to Gainesville. I think there's such respect for his offensive mind and what he's been able to do. Obviously, I think everybody saw it from the run that Ole Miss was on, but not only having Lane Kiffin, but Charlie Weiss there in Baton Rouge is a huge get. I think you find ways. Great coaches find ways to put players in positions to be successful, to utilize their skill set to be an advantage to them. I think we all expect the offense to be a lot better. But the idea that LSU can't run the football or hadn't been able to run the football very well the last 2 years, I grew up in the 80s watching LSU with the backs that they had back in the day and Dalton and Hilliard and those guys. It's foreign to me to think about an LSU team not being able to run the football. And it's not an indictment on the running backs, more, I would say, on the offensive line and the commitment to it 2 years ago. So you got to find a way to be physical in this league and run the ball. And that's what I think people don't understand about Lane Kiffin's offense is that, there's some explosive pass plays, but it's predicated on being able to run the football first and foremost. And look at Keon Lacey. He was a perfect fit in that offense last year. So I'm anxious to see, who kind of develops there as the go-to back in that scheme in Baton Rouge this year.
So if it's less players and more scheme, not saying obviously you need to have good. You got to have good players, right? Yeah. You have to have good players. I'm not saying that clearly, but it's an interesting question that I was asking earlier, CD, about Ole Miss, right? Because let's assume Trinidad Chambliss is back. He's going to get a TRO. Let's say he doesn't go to the draft. He comes back, and Keon Lacey's back. But you lose Lane Kiffin, and you lose Charlie Weiss, and you bring in John David Baker, who you think is going to bring some continuity, but Ed Ogeron thought he was doing the same thing when he brought Jake Peets here after they lost Joe Brady, and that didn't work out. So, what do you think if you look at it from the Ole Miss perspective, sans Kiffin and Weiss, what does that look like?
Yeah, I think that's a great question because, we were all really excited about the job that Pete Golding did taking over there in Oxford and the run that they went on in the postseason. But to your point, a lot of it had to do with Charlie Weiss being there to be in the ear of Trinidad Chambliss and to game plan and to call those plays. You mentioned John David Baker. I think having been there before in Oxford and was on that staff under Lane Kiffin, there's an idea that that's going to bring some continuity. But I think you're right. It's not guaranteed. And every season in college football has always been an individual new one in and of itself. But now more than ever with the transient nature of the portal and what you have with coaches coming and going, there's really no guarantee. I mean, I think if you go back and talk to Tennessee fans after the the season last year when they make it to the playoff and lose to Ohio State in the first round. They feel like they're going to come back and make another push the next year, and that's not guaranteed. The margin for error in college football is so thin right now that you can't count on just because you had one good season that it's going to carry over to the next. And I think there's a lot of question about what, obviously, with Trinidad Chambliss's eligibility and what the offense might look like. So, that program, to their credit, and as much as Ole Miss fans are down on Lane Kiffin, there's a lot of gratitude that they need to show for what's been one of the more consistent programs. So think about what they did, at the quarterback position, what they've been able to do with Matt Corral, into Jackson Dart, into Trinidad Chambliss. Like the only programs that had been as consistent as that was Georgia here in the last few years. So I mean, Ole Miss's accomplishments, need to be celebrated, but Lane Kiffin also needs to be celebrated for what he was able to do to elevate that program and to keep them as consistent as they were.
In time. It'll happen in time. Yeah. It ain't going to happen right now, though, brother. You're not both know that.
No.
A couple more. What do you – like, we'll probably dive deeper into this as we get closer to spring ball, but if Sam Leavitt, CD, is likely going to miss spring, they're hopeful, as I understand, that maybe he can do some 7-on-7 stuff. How much does that maybe set LSU offensively back as they transition? New scheme, new terminology, new play, all that, maybe not having their starting quarterback for spring?
I mean, you're asking a guy that's a little wounded by that because DJ Lagway was not available for spring practice or OTAs or the beginning of camp, and look what it did to set him back. Look what it did to set the offense back. And that was a guy that was returning to the same scheme with the same verbiage. Like it's a whole new world. And I'm not going to say you can't miss spring and be successful. I think Will Levis did it when he transferred in from Penn State to Kentucky and got there in the fall and ended up taking that team to one of the best seasons they'd ever had in program history.
Good
but
point.
It's certainly not ideal. And I can tell you as a receiver, you want to be out there catching as many balls as you possibly can from your quarterback and developing that rapport and understanding of where you're supposed to be at the right time. So you can't replace those reps. And I think what you saw from Lagway was him trying to knock the rust off and get up to speed in the middle of the season on a very public stage. And that once it wasn't going well, that pressure built and made it even more difficult to try to get there.
Chris Doering, former Gator great, now the SEC Network. You can get him at Chris Doering. CD, before you go, is there any like big storyline coming? We were so inundated with LSU and with Lane Kiffin and what they did in this portal cycle. Big picture SEC, is there anything that you think stands out as like the biggest storyline of this transfer portal cycle aside from Kiffin?
Is there another story? I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it dominated every headline here and has for 3 weeks, but I don't know what the rest of the world's talking about.
Close to home. I mean, I'll talk about Florida real quick. I'm very excited about Coach Summerall. I think if not for the Lane Kiffin story, people would be talking about what John Summerall's been able to do, keeping a recruiting class together, keeping the core of the roster there. Jaden Baugh coming back, obviously Dallas Wilson coming back, Miles Graham on the defensive side. There's a lot of talent, and I think they did a great job in hiring the staff that really is a great blend of experience. Brad White is the defensive coordinator, has been in this league before, going out and getting some former Gators, and Phil Troutwine as the offensive line coach, and Bam Hardman. This is got Florida feeling very optimistic. And I'll tell you that Black Friday when the news broke about Lane Kiffin not being the target of Scott Strickland's search any longer, that Florida had pivoted, there was a lot of negativity. And then about 48 hours later, as Florida got a chance to see Coach Summerall and get to know him a little bit more, it turned from backlash into optimism. And I think that Florida, you can say what you want. I know LSU and Florida developed a really good rivalry over the last 20 years, and there's a lot of disdain there. But I think college football is better. The SEC is better when LSU is good, when Florida's good, when Georgia's good, when Tennessee's good. And so I think Florida's on the way back. I hope that this is the right guy. But we've been here before with coaches where you win the press conference and the wins on the field don't necessarily follow.
I love John Summerall.
He's awesome, right?
I hate that he's at Florida. Chris Doering, hey, man, always appreciate the time, CD. We'll catch up soon, bud.
You guys, man. Thanks for having me, Matty. Talk to you soon.
It's Chris Doering. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Arco Power Systems. Arco.com, ARCO, Arco.com, industrial Generac generator power. Let's hope that with, the rain came through already. We know the freezing temps are coming. They're projecting ice and the hard freeze here in a bunch of parts of South Louisiana, parts of this region here in the next coming days. It's a great opportunity to remind, let's hope the power stays on and everything's good, but you have to prepare for the possibility. You have to prepare for the what if. What if the power goes out? What do you do at your business? Well, Arco can help. They can install an industrial Generac generator at your business. Of course, and everything's turnkey. They can install it. They can service it. Maybe you need to rent an industrial generator. Arco can do that as well. A lot of people, a lot of businesses that have their generators, Arco stores them in their yard right there on Airline near I-12. And then whenever the power goes out, they mobilize and they get those generators to where they need to go. It's an incredible business based right here in Baton Rouge, but that services such a giant footprint. North to Little Rock, east to Mobile, west to San Antonio. Draw a big circle anywhere in that footprint. Arco can serve you. So check them out online. If your business needs industrial Generac generator standby power, you need Arco Power Systems. ARCCO, Arco.com, Arco.com, Arco.com. All right, it's after further review. Our Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Excited to chat with our buddy David Helman. That's coming up in 15 minutes from right now. We will, 4 teams left in the NFL playoffs. Chat about it with Helman in just a little bit. Also, On3's put out the top 100 college football players for 2026. It's a list. It's arbitrary. It doesn't really matter what their ranking is. I think it's more what that says about the portal class that LSU has inked that I want to talk about, and maybe who LSU also is going to play in 2026. So we'll get to that also in the next hour. Let me knock out a quick break. Muse will get Tigers and the Pros to wrap up hour number 2. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Of course, the freeze is coming, and I've been telling you for weeks, if not months, to make sure that you get your heater safety check done. And it may not be too late, y'all. You call today, you probably get someone out today, maybe tomorrow, worst case, but give them a shout at 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or online at onehourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, onehourbr.com. I always tell you the importance of getting your heater safety check. And it's something you should do every year. All of us, every single year. So if you haven't done it yet this year, you're past due. If you didn't do it last year, if you don't remember the last time you did it, you're way past due. Make sure your heater's running efficiently, which will save you money, extend the life of your heater, and keep you safe, most importantly. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I receive at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
All right, cruising along here on this Thursday edition of AFR. If you missed anything, catch AFR on demand, presented by Brett Golf. We did give you the latest on Seaton Watch 2026. Seaton Watch. The news is there is no news on Jordan Seaton. And LSU still recruiting him. They're not done recruiting him. They're not out of the mix. And there doesn't appear to be a timeline that Jordan Seaton has to make a decision. Oregon has a quarters system. So for the spring semester, that doesn't start until March 30th. They start enrolling in March 30th, so he's good there. As for LSU, the deadline to enroll is passed for the spring semester. Could they make an exception? Maybe. I don't know. I was told 2 days ago that would take a lot of doing to make that happen. But quite honestly, I don't care if Jordan Seaton goes through spring ball at all. I just want him, if he's going to be an LSU Tiger, just be there this summer and be ready to roll week one when Clemson comes in on Labor Day weekend. That's really all I care about. So when we know more, we'll pass it along. But that's the latest on Seaton Watch. Seaton Watch. All right, it's after further review. Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, let's get you updated on Joe Brady and his quest to become an NFL head coach. He has another interview, or I should say he completed another interview, this one with his current team, the Buffalo Bills, who of course fired Sean McDermott after the Bills fell to the Broncos in the AFC Divisional. Joe Brady, he's been with the Bills organization since 2022, became the interim OC in 2023 once they fired Ken Dorsey and earned that full-time job. So two full seasons of calling plays. The Bills have, the Bills have ranked top 3 in points per game in both of those seasons and top 10 in yards per game both of those seasons. We'll see. Of course, Brady also interviewed with the Falcons, Raiders, Cardinals, and had 2 interviews with the Ravens, although that's off the table. They just hired Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter as their new head coach. The quest continues for Joe Brady and the Joe Brady offense. Cam Thomas did return for the Brooklyn Nets off of his hamstring injury. Played 16 minutes off the bench. Slow getting back into it, just 5 points. Did have 2 assists in the ballgame, though. And the Knicks absolutely destroyed. How about 120-66 in the NBA? Goodness gracious, the Nets are terrible. Tari Eason, 20 minutes off the bench for him with the Houston Rockets. 6 points, 6 boards. Pretty effective night. Did have 3 turnovers, but shot 50% from the field. The Rockets got another win there. And then Naz Reid.
Should have stayed.
28 minutes off the bench for the NBA's best 6th man. 13 points, 9 rebounds. Just missed the double-double. But good news, he'll have an opportunity to write that Later on tonight, they play the Bulls. The Rockets are also in action, along with the Portland Trailblazers, who have a couple LSU players. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. Oh, yeah. They do shutters, too. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. We were, Eric and I were talking. We're about to have our house painted, and it reminded me of this because, you know, they bring in the sample book, and you're trying to pick a color, and she's like, I can't really imagine it. And I thought about that because we talk about this often with Relief Windows, not with painting your house, but because one of the things they do that is awesome is they have a 3D modeling system. So you go to Relief Windows, you meet with one of their associates, and they can pull up a 3D model of your home so you can see what the windows, door, siding would look like on your home instead of just looking at a sample. How powerful and useful is that tool? They have it at Relief Windows. Another reason why Relief Windows is just the best. Oh, also, they never take $1 for a down payment. They will never take money up front. They will never take $1 until they're done and you're thrilled. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, door, siding, they do shutters too. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, it is after further review. Something else I want to delve into coming up in hour number 3. If you missed Kat Terrell in the first hour, we kind of jumped into a lot of different scenarios for the New Orleans Saints at receiver. One of them that we need to watch is what's going to happen with Keon Coleman. You know, Coleman is from Opelousas, started his career at Michigan State, went to Florida State, as we all know. Well, Terry Pagula, the Bills owner, had a really insulting comment about Keon Coleman, which has led many to believe that he's not going to be back in Buffalo and they're going to trade him. So what would a trade for Keon Coleman look like for the New Orleans Saints? We'll talk about that coming up in hour number 3 as well. Sports Center, staring you straight in the face.
After further review.
You know, when you think Our Lady of the Lake, I want you to think LSU. When you think LSU, I want you to think Our Lady of the Lake. They are synonymous. Our Lady of the Lake is the championship health partner of LSU athletics. They have the student contract as well, so they care for the students on campus there at the health center. They have amazing care available 24/7 with the Lake After Hours clinics. And access and convenience, always available at Our Lady of the Lake. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. That's the website if you want to learn more about the Championship Health Partnership and all the different ways that LSU and Our Lady of the Lake truly are unified. OLOLRMC.com/LSU. And, of course, I love following them on social media. You'll see so much content with doctors and with administrators to learn more about the many ways the lake gives back. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar.
Trust isn't given, it's earned. Earned both on the court and off. And every step along the way, I trust Our Lady of the Lake to keep me in the game.
FMOL Health, Our Lady of the Lake experts provide best-in-class care for our state's world-class athletes because it takes a champion to care for champions.
On the court, I trust my team. For my health care, I trust the lake.
From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
This new year, Hood Dental wants you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89. plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays, a $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care, Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And for January only, save 15% up to $150 on restorative treatment. Schedule today at hooddentalcare.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi, breaking NFL news. Another head coaching vacancy has been filled. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Ravens are hiring Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter as their new head coach. Minter, also a former Baltimore defensive assistant, gets a 5-year deal. Seahawks quarterback Sam Darnold's throwing has been limited this week at practice because of an oblique injury ahead of Sunday's NFC title game versus the Rams. With the oblique and Zach Charbonnet out the rest of the playoffs with a torn ACL, expect a heavy dose of Seattle running back Kenneth Walker III, explains ESPN's Jason McCourty.
And the one thing about him as a running back, when he touches the football, you have no idea where he's going to be. Defensive coaches always say that everyone is at the point of attack. The run could be going to the left, and you could be the cornerback on the opposite side of the field. He's going to cut back, and he is going to find you. An explosive guy whenever the ball is in his hand, whether they're handing it off or throwing it to him out the backfield.
Dolphins today introduced new GM John Eric Sullivan, said he's got a plan for the team's QBs moving forward, but there's too much work to do before decisions made for this upcoming season. Miami expected to move on from Tua Tagovailoa.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options. Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. NFL Championship Sunday coming up. AFC, NFC Championship games. Great opportunity. Check in with our friend David Helman, LSU grad, now with The Athletic and the appropriately named The Athletic Football Show. Helman, what's up, man?
What's up, brother? Yeah, you know what you get with a name like that, right?
I always say, call a thing by its name. Call a thing what it is. So if it's The Athletic Football Show, just call it The Athletic Football Show. There is no ambiguity as to what you talk about. Hey, I want to start with the AFC, because I think the NFC is far more interesting of a game. So I want to get to that. But what should we expect from Jarrett Stidham?
I mean, I think anybody telling you they know for sure would be lying, right? I mean, we really just haven't seen that much of the guy. He got a start for the Raiders at the end of 2022 against the Niners team that was already gearing up for the playoffs, and 2 years ago when the Broncos were not good, they played him over Russell Wilson so they could avoid getting stuck in a situation where they owed Russell Wilson a lot of money. So, I mean, it's like 3 starts over however many years he's been in the league, which I think, he came in with the Patriots in like 2019. So it's been a minute. Having said that, if you go back and watch some of these games, especially the Broncos games a couple of years ago, I think it's going to look somewhat similar to what we've seen with Bo Nix. And what I mean by that is just Sean Payton is obviously the play caller, the play designer, the offense designer in Denver. I think when you watch Jarrett Stidham play for the Broncos, you see a lot of the similar concepts. I think the Broncos are going to live on the screen game. They're going to expect Stidham to be able to hit some throws over the middle of the field. The big difference for me is Jarrett Stidham's just not as good of an athlete as Bo Nix. I mean, Bo Nix's mobility and athleticism are a huge part of what makes the Broncos offense go. I don't think you're going to get as much of that with Jarrett Stidham. I think he's going to have to rely on his ability to win in the pocket a little bit more. But, watching him over those games I was talking about, I came out of it thinking, okay, I think Sean Payton can dial up enough to get the Broncos like 20 points. And from there, you're probably just banking on your defense to get the win. Now, is that going to happen against the potential MVP in Drake May? I don't know. But I came out of it thinking that Jarrett Stidham is probably good enough to make a go of this.
That's interesting. I was going to ask a follow-up of how much the Bo Nix injury, it obviously changes everybody's opinion on the game in some respect, but how much does the Bo Nix injury change your opinion on this game?
I mean, it does change it, right? Like Denver would be favored to win this game at home with Bo Nix. And look, Bo Nix is one of those guys, he invites a lot of debate. I think my LSU people listening to this remember Auburn Bo Nix and what a frustrating guy he was to play. And like I said, I think his athleticism helps him a lot, whereas he's not the most polished, pure quarterback. He still is, like, the whole package of what you get in Bo Nix is still really useful. Like I said, he gives you an element in the ground game. He avoids sacks. He can pick up third downs for you with his legs. All that stuff kind of goes away when you don't have him. And look, like I said, I mean, it hasn't always been pretty, but the Broncos have been good enough to win 14 games, and their offense has come through for them, particularly in the second half of the season. This is not a defense that's like dragged its team to this point. Bo Nix has been a big part of that. So I would pick Denver to win this game if Bo Nix was healthy. I lean more so Patriots now.
Yeah.
But I think Jarrett Stidham is good enough that this will be a game worth watching. Like this isn't a game where the quarterback where Jarrett Stidham's just going to make this an unwatchable mess. I think it'll be better than that.
He's on Twitter at Dave Helman _ 1L on Helman. Hey, you mentioned the LSU guys, Kayshon Boutte, Will Campbell, Caleb Chasson, all on the New England side. Any one of those you're in particularly excited to watch on Sunday?
I mean, there's 2 guys and it's like, go figure. The New England Patriots way up there in like Boston are the home for LSU in the NFL this year. But 2 guys really stand out to me. And you mentioned both of them. Caleb Chasson was, he was a top 20 pick, but he wasn't like a purely polished pass rusher when he got into the NFL. He landed in Jacksonville, and his career just did not go the way that he wanted it to. So much to the point where like he had a nice year last year. I think it was for Tennessee. And when he signed with New England, it was kind of like, I guess, whatever. Like, I guess you need bodies, right? And this Patriots team wasn't very good, but man, he has developed into quite a player for this New England defense. Like he's a fantastic run defender. He generates pressure. He's made some big plays in the pocket this postseason. So I'm really pumped for Caleb. And then Kayshon Boutte. I mean, the arc that this guy's been on, right, where like we remember what he was like in 2020 and how he looked like he was going to be the next great. It went downhill from there every year at LSU to the point where we weren't even sure he was going to get drafted. And he's Drake May's like go-to big play guy now. And so just as an LSU alum, those 2 guys, like obviously Will Campbell's great. We all knew that, but those 2 guys to sort of take this route to NFL success has been really fun to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be something, man. Jarrett Stidham and Drake May. No Mahomes, no Lamar, no Allen, no Burrow, no Herbert. It's a fascinating time. On the other side, this feels like a legacy moment for Matthew Stafford, right? I mean, what would getting to another Super Bowl mean for Stafford?
Man, I mean, I'm biased because I've loved Stafford. I loved Stafford when he was at Georgia. I thought he was better than he got credit for when he was in Detroit. And obviously, he's had all the success in the world at LA. And so he's one win away from another Super Bowl. And it's hard to tell. I really don't know how it's going to go. But like if you're trying to read the tea leaves, Matthew Stafford was named first team All-Pro, which is not always an indicator that he's going to win MVP, but it certainly helps. And then the Pro Football Writers named him their MVP earlier this week, which it's a different award from the one they give out at NFL Honors. But if you're trying to read the tea leaves, this guy could be playing in his second Super Bowl and have an NFL MVP by the end of the month. And if even one of those things happens, I think you're talking about a pretty damn good case to reach the Hall of Fame, which when he won that Super Bowl in 2021, I think a lot of people kind of scoffed at that. You know, I think like he's only been named to like 3 Pro Bowls in his career over the course, like because of how much time he spent with the Lions, he doesn't have the amount of accolades that you would expect, but I think it would be justified. I mean, I like to call him your favorite quarterback's favorite quarterback. Just the way that he plays the position, the way that he can manipulate defenses, the confidence that he has, and the anticipation and the accuracy that he throws with. There are very few players that are more fun to watch than Matthew Stafford, and the ones that are the aliens, right? Like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes. Like Matthew Stafford is a pretty standard pocket passer, and my God, is he just pure adrenaline on a football field. So I think he's going to have a great shot to reach the Hall of Fame. And I mean, especially if he gets this thing over the finish line, and nothing is guaranteed, but I think the winner of this Seattle-LA game is probably going to win the Super Bowl. I mean, these have been the best 2 teams in the league all year long for my money. I think whoever wins will be favored to win the Super Bowl. And if it's Stafford, you talk about 2 championships and maybe an NFL MVP. Yeah, that's a pretty good resume.
That does it. He's 6th all time in NFL history in passing yards. The
volume stats speak for themselves.
Doubt.
I mean, he's got a shot to retire top 5 in a lot of the big categories.
Yeah, you had a second Super Bowl and an MVP. I agree with you. Seattle's got a few key guys with injuries. We know Charbonnet won't play. Darnold's battling the the oblique thing. These 2 teams split the regular season. Both teams won at home. What do you think it takes for LA to go to Seattle and get a win?
I think they got to rediscover the offensive form that they had last time they were in Seattle. I mean, if you're not big into the NFL, or if you've been more focused on the recruiting trail with Lane Kiffin, which I don't blame you for, this is as good as it gets in the NFL. I mean, these are, like I said, these 2 teams are historically good by the numbers. Rams predominantly on offense. This Seattle defense has a chance to go down as one of the best of the last 20, 25 years. And it's going to come down to Stafford getting the better of them. I mean, the Seahawks pass rush is relentless. They go 9 deep probably. And their secondary just plays with one brain. And I looked this up today. The Seahawks are averaging 24 yards allowed over the middle of the field, 10-plus yards downfield. Like, you cannot throw against this team. And the one guy that's been able to do it is Matthew Stafford, who hit him for a ton of yardage in that classic Thursday nighter right before Christmas, 6 or 7 weeks ago, 5, whatever it was. And so his ability to do that again, basically, he's going to need to make 5 or 6 really high-leverage throws. The Rams are going to need to cash in their scoring opportunities. I mean, this Seahawks defense they've been great all year, but really since that Rams game, they have been a buzzsaw. They hit the quarterback, they take the ball away, they are impossible to hit big plays against. And so how good is Stafford? How frequently can he connect with his receivers? Can the run game stay on schedule enough to give him a shot to make those plays? Oh, man, I mean, you said it already, Matt, but the 2 regular season games between these 2 teams were both must-see TV, and I don't know if I've ever been this excited for a playoff game that wasn't the Super Bowl before. It should be really, really good.
And that is a mouthful. It's going to be great. Theater hopefully lives up to the billing on Sunday. He's David Helman, The Athletic Football Show. Make sure you get him on Twitter at Dave Helman _1L on Helman. Thank you, dude.
Anytime, brother. Take care.
It's our pleasure. It's after further review. Yeah, that game in Seattle was, I just looked up the date. It was December 19th. Stafford threw for 457 in the game, and it went to overtime. The Rams scored a touchdown. Seattle answered with a touchdown, went for 2 and got it in 138-37. So the incredible theater. And anyway, it hopefully, I don't know that we see a repeat of that, but it's going to be 2 very close games. The Rams won in L.A. Seattle won the overtime game in Seattle, and now they play for a right to go to the Super Bowl. It's going to be, hopefully, great theater on Sunday. All right, it's after further review. Drink Evermore, EVAMOR, evermore.com, evermore.com. Always have my Evermore on set. Was disappointed yesterday being in Houston. Did not have Evermore for sale there at the gift shop in the Post Oak Hotel. Learned my lesson. Next time, I'll bring my own bottle of Evermore. But you can find Evermore at great local retailers with national distribution. So find the location nearest you at evermore.com, evermore.com, EVAMOR, evermore.com. I love when you all buy Evermore, you see it out in the wild, you take photos, you tweet me, Instagram, whatever, text line, send me the photos. I always pass them on to Shane and the team over at Evermore. They're fired up to see it. But most importantly, do your own taste test. Drink it, experience the difference. If you just think water is water and it all tastes the same, get a bottle of that crap that you've been drinking, then get a bottle of Evermore, do it side by side. You'll see the difference. EVAMOR, evermore.com. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us here, y'all. We're not got a quick break. Top 100 players in 2026 for college football on threes. Put it out there. You don't really care about a list, but I think it's interesting what that list potentially tells us about the LSU roster and a lot of the players, quarterbacks in particular, LSU is going to face in 2026. We'll get to that. What would a trade look like for Keon Coleman if the Saints were able to pull it off? Got some thoughts there. Don't move. It's AFR.
After further review.
Y'all, in 2026, new year, new you. I keep saying it, but schedule a consultation over at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. YourGoodwood.com, YourGoodwood.com. Funny name, I get it. Haha. The logo, all that stuff. It's supposed to be attention grabbing. It's supposed to get your attention, which it does. But mostly what's important is that you go have this conversation. And I'm not, listen, if you have ED, they have ED treatments. They have so much more than just that. Hormone replacement therapy, it can be a critical component to your overall health and well-being. It's time to have a blood test to learn if HRT could help you change the way you feel every single day. Men and women, by the way. It's a simple blood test. Like, I'm not a doctor. I don't purport to be. What I am encouraging you to do is go have the conversation. YourGoodwood.com, YourGoodwood.com. Ask about peptides as well. YourGoodwood.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I receive at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Shaw & Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalVR.com.
And thanks as always to Blazia and the team over at Decision Critical. Not just healthcare, it's healthcare for your lifestyle. Expertly trained nurses, only the best, and they are all over the state of Louisiana. DecisionCriticalBR.com. DecisionCriticalBR.com. ESPN.com took a stab at naming 68 starting quarterbacks for 2026, basically all the power conferences in Notre Dame. And I thought it was interesting because as we kind of project with rosters closer to being settled now, you've had the December signing period. The portal, for all intents and purposes, is settled. We now know early entrance to the draft. So, and with no December signing period and a reduced emphasis on the February signing period, for all intents and purposes, rosters are kind of locked now for next year. I mean, I guess you could always have a weird situation like what happened with Xavier Lucas from Wisconsin last year, who left and went to Miami. And so that could certainly happen. We're still watching what'll happen with Darian Mensah. What does a guy like Trinidad Chambliss do? Does he go into the draft, or does he return to Ole Miss? That's going to depend on what his draft projection is. So we'll see. But what I do think is so interesting is, as we sort of look at these rosters, and you look at the quarterbacks that LSU is going to face next year, it's pretty interesting because, like on 3, for example, and again, it's a list. It's a totally subjective point of view. It's not meant to be a hard and fast rule for anything. It's just a perspective on what some respected organization thinks. They over at On 3 rank the top 100 players in college football for 2026. Now, it's January. We're not going to play football for 9 months, 8.5 months till they play football again. So a lot can change between now and then. We don't know. But for example, like they have Sam Leavitt ranked as the 10th overall player in college football for 2026, and that's the highest ranking of any quarterback. Like, it's higher than Arch and higher than anybody else. It's literally the highest ranking for a quarterback for next college football season. So I think that's pretty fascinating. Well, they predict the starting quarterbacks for 68 college football teams. And when you look at LSU's opponents, for example, Clemson isn't going to face Cade Klubnik. They're going to face Christopher Vezina. Like, Christopher Vezina making his first career start on the road in Tiger Stadium, which is going to be a night game in an environment that's going to be bat bleep crazy for the inaugural game of the Kiffin era. Like, feel pretty good about LSU in that one. We're 8.5 months away, but I feel pretty good about LSU in that matchup. You think about Arch making his first start in the Horseshoe this year. That didn't go great. I mean, think about, a guy like Bryce Underwood making his first road start at Oklahoma this year. Didn't go super great, right? It's a hard thing to do. You're going to play Ole Miss and Trinidad Chambliss. If he's back, he'll be the starter. If not, it'll be Deuce Knight. And Deuce Knight is a really talented guy, but he started one game. It was against Mercer this year at the end of the season. A&M will have Marcel Reed back. Kentucky's got Kenny Minchey coming in from Notre Dame. And again, you're talking about a guy, Kenny Minchey, who is a redshirt junior. So you're going to fourth-year junior, but a guy who just hasn't played. He got beaten out at Notre Dame this year by C.J. Carr. Went into the portal. So you're talking about a guy that is a veteran player, but hasn't played. Mississippi State, you're going to play them this year. Kamario Taylor is a sophomore. When Blake Shapen got hurt, Taylor took over late in the season. Shapen, has now left Mississippi State, so it's Taylor's show as a sophomore, but again, a young player. Auburn, Byron Brown coming in from South Florida, following their coach there, going from South Florida to Auburn. You're gonna have continuity, but how does it translate from South Florida to the SEC is a fair question. Yeah, I think it'll be fine, but that is a question nonetheless. Alabama, is it going to be Austin Mack or Keelan Russell? I don't know. We've talked plenty about Alabama and all the things that they've lost, and the turnover they've had and the inability to sustain success. And I think, boy, that game in Baton Rouge is going to be a buzzsaw this year. And by the time you get to November, you would certainly hope that Kiffin's offense has totally hit its stride. You're going to play Texas, and they've got Arch Manning. Tennessee, does Joey Aguilar get the extra year of eligibility, or is it Ryan Staub? Remember Ryan Staub from Colorado? He was the backup who was going to take a visit to LSU until Husson Longstreet signed. Well, Staub ended up taking some other visits. He lands at Tennessee. He's sort of the Tennessee insurance plan if Joey Aguilar doesn't get that extra year. Well, that's a very manageable road game if you're facing Ryan Staub in November. And then Arkansas, it's likely going to be KJ Jackson, former 3-star recruit. Could be KJ Jackson or AJ Hill would be the two options there, but let's assume it's KJ Jackson. All that to say, you could face Chambliss. You're going to face Arch. Aside from that, it's a lot of I don't know. I mean, Marcel Reed on the road at A&M, that's going to be a challenge. They were really good this year, and he'll be into his third year by that point. Byron Brown could be really good coming in from South Florida. He was outstanding at South Florida. Will it translate to the SEC? We'll see. Kenny Minchey, Kamario Taylor. I mean, just guys haven't played a lot. So it's a giant question mark all over the league at quarterback. And so I look at it thinking if you got the number one player in the transfer portal, a quarterback that's taken a team to the playoff already. If Sam Leavitt's healthy and delivers upon that expectation, I look up and down that list. I don't know, aside from a road game against Ole Miss, if Chambliss is playing, I don't know that I would give the quarterback edge to any team you're playing next year. I mean, Christopher Vizina from Clemson, no. Marcel Reed, he can be dynamic, but you've also seen issues like getting down 4 scores on your home field against South Carolina. I mean, is that not the greatest illustration of that paradigm? Getting down 4 scores and then in the second half rallying? I don't know, man. There's just I get the feeling that the closer we get, and we got a long way to go. Again, I'm not like previewing the 2026 season. This is more of a taking an account, like doing inventory here of what the rosters look like coming out of the portal cycle. Now that it seems like rosters are set with no spring portal window, there's a lot of reason to believe you're just going to see a lot of expectation continue to build around LSU heading into 2026. All right, it's after further review. Now, we're brought to you by Supper Club, supperclubbtr.com. It's a website. Go get your reservations, supperclubbtr.com, supperclubbtr.com. Erica and I had our anniversary dinner at Supper Club this past Saturday. If you're celebrating an anniversary, Supper Club. Celebrating a birthday, Supper Club. Celebrating a promotion or anything in life, Supper Club. Remember, y'all, Valentine's Day, gents, is 3 weeks from Saturday. Now, they are already booked solid for Valentine's Day. You're not getting a table for Valentine's Day. And when I talked to Chef Layton earlier this week, they had a few spots left for Friday. But that whole week, I want to remind you as well that that weekend is Mardi Gras weekend. That's Endymion and Bacchus and Orpheus. So Endymion is the same day as Valentine's Day. So a lot of people might be in New Orleans the weekend for Mardi Gras. Plan Valentine's earlier in the week. Go Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday night. Have your Valentine's. They're going to be celebrating Valentine's all month in February at Supper Club. So book your Valentine's dinner earlier in the week and then go to New Orleans for Valentine's Day and Endymion and all that sort of stuff. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. Check it out. SupperClubBTR.com. All right, it's after further review. When I got a break, come back. Jay Johnson is going to meet with reporters. This is a thing that's going to be music to a lot of people's ears. Jay Johnson will have his season introductory press conference on Friday. He's going to meet reporters. A day ago, Jay was at the Baton Rouge Rotary Club, so we are about to start to transition into talking more about LSU baseball as the Tigers are going to hit the practice field to begin their work for the 2026 season, hopefully in defending their title. Couple of notes on some pitchers from Jay. We'll get to that here in just a quick second. What might a trade for Keon Coleman look like for the New Orleans Saints? We'll touch on that. Jimmy will be here in 15 minutes for Outer Locks. Don't you move, it's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Remember the Watermark downtown Baton Rouge? Baton Rouge's premier hotel property. Gorgeous, the original high-rise. Matter of fact, driving back from Houston today, coming over the bridge and looking to the north at downtown Baton Rouge, I could see the Watermark. It was cool to think about, I guess because I do this endorsement every day. It was cool to think about what that skyline looked like 100 years ago, without the state capitol and without a lot of the buildings that are there now. And when Watermark Baton Rouge was, the old Louisiana National Bank building was the original high-rise in downtown Baton Rouge. But they've maintained so much of that historical integrity. But listen, if you have an event coming up in 2026, have it at Watermark Baton Rouge. Remember, there's complimentary valet parking when you eat at the Gregory. It's a gorgeous spot to go. Watermark Baton Rouge.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Faber family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Dr. Johnson, that's my guy. He gonna tell me when I need to do better. He gonna tell me when I need to slow down. And I trust him 100%. The medical care that I receive at LSU and with Our Lady of the Lake is top tier. I really trust what they telling me, and they keep me right.
Lockmeyer, Shough, Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lockmeyer, Shough, Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, ironworkers, boilermakers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable. And
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalvr.com.
Kind of a wild story. Keon Coleman, from Opelousas, started his career at Michigan State, transferred to Florida State. LSU fans, unfortunately, remember that game in 2023 where he went off, had a great season. Second-round pick, 33rd overall of the Buffalo Bills. And, you've had now a coaching change with McDermott out. Well, Terry Pegula, who's the owner of the Buffalo Bills, was having a press conference and had some not so flattering things to say, I'm going to put it mildly, about Keon Coleman. Give a listen.
I'll address the Keon situation. The coaching staff pushed to draft Keon. I'm not saying Brandon wouldn't have drafted him, but he wasn't his next choice. That was Brandon being a team player and taking advice of his coaching staff who felt strongly about the player. And, he's taken, for some reason, heat over it and not saying a word about it, but I'm here to tell you the true story.
Okay, that's a great example of a billionaire that does not give a F. One single F. And that sometimes happens with old people and rich people. And I love old people, and I love rich people, I love all people. But when you're old or rich, you tend to say whatever you want. And when you're old and rich, you really say whatever you want. That's Terry Pegula right there. Probably not the best thing to say. And in essence, really showed his cards. And now everyone in the NFL is assuming with that, they're trading Keon Coleman. He's had 2 seasons in Buffalo as a rookie, 29 catches for 556 yards and 4 touchdowns. This year, it was 38 catches for 404. His yards per catch average a year ago was 19.2. This year was down to 10.6. I mean, Keon Coleman, 6'4", 215. His 40 time at the combine was like a 4.57, and so he kind of got dinged for that. So some people were surprised to see him go 33rd overall. But here you have the owner who also, who is degrading one of his players. Everyone is here making the assumption now that Keon Coleman is done in Buffalo. They're going to trade him. Well, there's a lot of teams that need receiving help, and the Saints are right there on that list, and we're going to talk about what this means. As a matter of fact, Ross Jackson has a piece up at LouisianaSports.net where he does explore the possibility of a Keon Coleman trade. And I keep thinking about Devon giving up a 4 for Devon Vele, but what's interesting is most of the projections here, if you peruse the interwebs, are looking at potentially like a late day 3 pick for a guy like Keon Coleman, which is weird because the Saints gave up a 4 for Devon Vele. I mean, that feels like a steep price for a player of that caliber to now turn around and get a former high second-round pick, potentially for a late day 3 pick. But if you can get Keon Coleman in his prime at 23 years old, I'm sorry. Keon Coleman's 22 years old. He will be 23 in May. So you're talking about a dude still growing into his prime, coming to play in potentially his home state, roughly 2 hours. Opelousas, roughly 2 hours from New Orleans. I mean, in an offense where you were desperate for playmakers on the outside, where you went into the end of the season with respect, but I mean, Kevin Austin and Mason Tipton. I mean, what are we talking about? Now, I hope Jalen Polk comes off an injury and is really good. I hope Devon Vele can continue to build and grow and develop. I hope Chris Olave can consistently be a high-level performer. But those are all questions at this point. I'd love to see New Orleans go into the draft and use the 8th overall pick on Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson. I'd love to see that, to get a true game breaker. I'd love to see him maybe go spend in free agency and get I don't think it's realistic to get a George Pickens or someone like that. But if there's an opportunity to get great value on Keon Coleman, because if you're going to pay Chris Olave $30 million a year, which it sounds like they are going to do, and I'm going to say it again, I am not in favor of that, but it sounds like that is what they are going to do. So if you're going to pay Chris Olave $30 million a year, you're not paying two guys that. So Keon Coleman is still on a rookie contract. He's got 2 years left on a rookie deal. You can get a guy like that on a rookie contract for a couple of years, maybe get, change of scenery and a motivated guy and a different body style at 6'4", 215 than Chris Olave for a day 3 pick. Oh, I run to Buffalo to hand them the contract for the trade compensation. Do it immediately. That'd be awesome. It's one to watch if the Saints could maybe make a deal to bring Keon Coleman back to his home state after Terry Pegula stepped in it. And look, I mean, the part about Pegula making the comments he did is like you lose your leverage because you no longer really have the option of keeping this player after you say what you said about him. So everyone knows that, so they're going to lowball you. And I'd lowball him. Offer a late day 3 pick, see if you can score a player that they don't want, that they want out the door, and who might be able to help benefit your offense. All right, tap to further review. Thursday shows are brought to you by Decision Critical. Say it every week, not just healthcare for your lifestyle. I love telling you about Blasia and her team because they're awesome. They're awesome to work with. Expertly trained nurses that come in-home. Maybe you're having surgery and you need post-operative care. Their nurses can actually come to the hospital while your physician or your surgeon gives the post-operative care instructions and can help carry out those orders at home. So I even say it, if you're a physician, you should be recommending Decision Critical to your patients. If you're not already and you want to have a meeting with Blasia, she and I have talked about this a ton. If you're a physician and you're not already recommending your patients to Decision Critical, have a meeting with Blasia and let her explain maybe more what they do and how it can benefit. Because if you're a physician, like your goal should be keep your patients out of the hospital. Well, a big part of that is carrying out your orders at home. Well, the nurses at Decision Critical can help do that. DecisionCriticalBR.com, DecisionCriticalBR.com. I know it says BR, but they're all over the state. Their nurses are literally in every corner of the state and in their Dallas office now as well. DecisionCriticalBR.com. Jay Johnson's going to meet with reporters tomorrow around lunchtime, so be on the lookout for that. One of the things that I think is going to be fascinating is this pitching staff depth, talent. Oh, my goodness. And what guys from a year ago are ready to take that next step. At the Baton Rouge Rotary Club on Wednesday, Jay kind of gave a little peek behind the curtain there.
I don't want any of our players this year to try to be anybody from last year. But I will tell you, I think we have some guys ready to take another step in their development. Casey Evans was a huge part of last year, and I think he's poised to take another jump and be like a contributor like Anthony. William Schmidt, he went 7-0 last year as a freshman. And because he had so much expectation, because, he turned down some money, decided he just wanted to come play college baseball. Like, that wasn't maybe good enough for some of you. Like, that's a great freshman year. He's ready to take another step. We have a transfer from the University of Kansas named Cooper Moore, who's, undersized right-hander, but super competitive, just fills up the strike zone. There's a number of candidates that are going to take a nice step forward this year.
Very good chance that Jay Johnson just told you his weekend rotation, at least to start the season. Evans, Moore, Schmidt. Evans, Schmidt, Moore. Could be how they start it. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll get a full rundown from Jay when he meets with reporters lunchtime on Friday. Of course, when we're back here, Terry will be here on Friday. We'll talk plenty about what Jay Johnson has to say as we start to till the soil for the 2026 LSU baseball season, which we're really excited about. All right, it's after further review. Now I got our final break. Jimmy will be here for Auto Locks to wrap it up next. Stick around.
AFR.
REV. Let's Rev. Let'sRev.com. 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 70,000 homeowners and business owners in South Louisiana trust Rev, and you should as well. For your high-speed internet, cable, telephone, home automation, all of it. They're local. When you call Rev and you talk to one of their representatives, you are talking to someone here in South Louisiana. It's not an overseas call center. It's not AI. It's human beings who live and work and play in Louisiana. REV. Let'sRev.com. 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 I'm fired up because they finally finished laying the fiber in my neighborhood. So I now have the option for an all-fiber high-speed internet network in my home, and we are switching immediately. REV. Let'sRev.com. Let'sRev.com. Check them out online, y'all. Let'sRev.com.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
This new year, Hood Dental wants you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays, a $376 value. With over 3,000 five-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care, Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And for January only, save 15% up to $150 on restorative treatment. Schedule today at hooddentalcare.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical. Remember, if you miss anything, AFR On Demand presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org. Kat Terrell was here in hour 1. Chris Doering was here in hour 2. Talked about LSU's transfer portal class, some other SEC general transfer portal stuff. David Helman from The Athletic was here earlier this hour, kind of giving a little thumbnail preview of Championship Sunday in the NFL. Right now, though, let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Yo, Otter, what up?
Oh, 6-0 run by Washington gets us by the hook at Nebraska to cost us the win tonight. But besides that, everything's wonderful. So let's get to picks tonight.
Let's get it. We're ready for Otter Locks.
A very light night, college basketball. One Power 5 matchup. We're going to take the home dog, Penn State Nittany Lions at home plus 5.5 against the visiting Wisconsin Badgers. Public drove it up a little bit because they had that high-profile win in Ann Arbor against Michigan. We're going to take Penn State there. And then we got some...
Hey!
The Gucci's on a heater.
Let's
First
go.
Of all,
the Gucci.
The first time in 4 years, he has given us a prop bet. Anytime scorer for the Montreal Canadiens, Cole Caulfield. Up plus 150 right now. At if you click on the game, you go right down, scroll. He's like the shortest price, but he did not like the game.
Cole Caulfield, you said?
Cole Caulfield. Plus 150, I believe, anytime scorer.
Plus 150, anytime scorer.
Yeah.
Let's go, Gucci.
And then he's got two dogs. Both were plus 130 when I fired them into Hunt earlier. And that is the Boston Bruins, home dog. And
Detroit.
So there should be plus 130, Matt.
Yep, plus 130.
And then he's got the Detroit Red Wings on the road tonight. So kind of the way I like to handicap too. Both teams that are playing above their overall resume, so kind of on a good little streak. So playing better than their overall record. So getting a little values. And those lines have crept up a little bit. When he gave them out today, they were like 120 and 125. Both were 130 when I texted them to Hunt. Not sure what they are now.
Boston's at plus $1.30. Detroit is plus $1.36 right now. So,
there you go.
Both good numbers, man. Don't be a moron.
Chalk early, dogs like go Jay!
Hey, where are you tomorrow?
I don't know. Let's take a guess.
Oh, it's Friday. Friday, Rufino's. Yes, Friday, Rufino's. Awesome spot to go on a Friday. Have a little steak.
Yes.
Steak and potatoes for lunch. It's one of my favorite Friday spots to go every now. I try about once a month to pop in and see you guys. Actually, just to go eat a really good steak and potatoes for lunch.
Isn't it cool when I first came over in January of 2012? So I started doing the shows with Derek and Charlie down in New Orleans for that Alabama LSU game. And Ruffin, God bless his soul, but we're like, we're going to try this. Good. We're going to put y'all on Friday lunch. We're going to try this Friday lunch thing, see if it works. They'd never been open for lunch. Well, what are we on now? We, I don't know. How long ago is that?
13 years?
Yeah, that's 15 years.
14 years. Is that 14 years?
14.
14.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah.
14. Yes, I'll take the over 13. I'll take the under 15. Give me a middle. So anyway, yes, still got it going. It is fun, man. It's kind of like everybody gets their weekend started, so it's a good time. So come by and see us over at Rufino's for lunch tomorrow.
Sounds good. All right, Otter, good luck. Thank you.
Good luck, buddy.
All right, Jimmy's got Penn State plus 5.5 on the hardwood, and then the Gucci. Boston Bruins, Detroit Red Wings, and Cole something or other from Montreal as an anytime score. Plus, I bet it. You going against the Gucci? I ain't going against the Gucci.
Otter said he's hot, too.
Oh, he's been on it.
He's hot.
He is about. Last Thursday, the Gucci saved the Otter. Rough night last Thursday. I think Otters still, we're feeling our way a little bit in college basketball. A little bit still. So, and I'm ready for the Otter to start dealing out some NBA picks, too. That's been a little slow.
Yeah.
So,
No, it'll pick up after March Madness for sure with the NBA.
Yeah, that's true.
Otter's good for the NBA playoffs, man.
And then, by then, you're going to start getting toward opening day for baseball, too.
Yeah?
So we're going to be on it, man. Shoot.
And then he'll go to Del Mar for a month. We won't hear from him.
Cussing waitresses and whatnot.
Yeah.
Not him cussing waitresses. I mean, waitresses cussing live on the air.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy was at Del Mar one time. If you missed that, he was doing the segment, giving us his picks, and a waitress came by and like cussed at him. I don't think it was like they were talking, she used a curse word. She didn't curse at him.
It wasn't that out.
Yeah, it was just like it was like, it's live on air. That's why I said cussing waitresses. So, anyway. All right, it's after further review. Quick reminder about Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Remember, with all the rain we've had in these past few days, if you have water intrusion, chances are you just noticed it. Chances are that didn't just start. So you've probably had water, you hate to say it, but pooling in certain places. Maybe you're just noticing the water spot on your ceiling. It might already have been in your insulation. You could have mold, like you can have mildew and all that nastiness. Call Parish Restoration. Come by. They'll always give you a free estimate, but they'll spray their patented non-toxic dry fog. Got mold, they'll get rid of it. Odor, they'll get rid of it. It doesn't matter, odor from pets or smoke or mold or mildew or whatever it may be. Sweat. Got a gym, a workout facility. Stinks because all the sweat in there all the time. You want to knock that out? Easy. Have Parish come by. They'll spray. parishrestoration.com. parishrestoration.com. Okay, y'all, that is just about going to do it for us here on this Thursday edition of AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Tomorrow, Terrio's here. We will have, I will be at Jay Johnson's presser tomorrow. So we'll hear from Jay as he kind of sets the table for the 2026 baseball season. And there's just going to be a tremendous amount of expectation. Not sure if you saw it earlier this week, but the preseason odds for the College World Series are out, and LSU is the betting favorite to win the College World Series. That shouldn't be a great surprise. They're the defending champion. They're also, I would argue, more talented this year than they were a year ago. I mean, it was an incredible job by Jay and his staff last year to get that team to and through Omaha and hoist a second trophy in 3 years. This is a team that'll carry a ton of expectations, and they'll let the practice field get started tomorrow, so we'll have it all covered for you. All right, it's going to do it for us here. Muse Pauly, thanks. Y'all have an awesome night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
And as we get on down the road, I'll remind you about the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020. You know, there's more than just LASIK to get out of contacts, glasses, readers. At the Williamson Eye Center, modern vision correction has so many options for distance, if you're nearsighted, if you have an astigmatism, even for people who told that before you weren't a candidate. There have been so many advancements in ophthalmology that you could be a candidate now. So schedule that free consultation. Discover which procedure fits your eyes, your lifestyle. You can do virtual or in-person consultations. They're available. You can learn more. You can book today at williamsoneye.com. williamsoneye.com.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Jordan Faber here with some exciting news. Faber Automotive has officially arrived. We're proud to introduce your new hometown dealership, Faber Chevrolet GMC. That means more inventory, better deals, and the same great local team. Now backed by the trusted Fabry family name. Whether you're shopping or servicing, you'll feel the difference from day one. Allow us the opportunity to earn your business.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Visit us in St. Francisville or online at FabryChevrolet.com.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit LouisianaPropane.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at DecisionCriticalBR.com and give us a call today